hingu, black pepper helps to increase cytotoxic activities. Some liquid diet also should be included such as boiled water, milk diet, buttermilk, herbal tea, liver soup, bone marrow, etc. Precautionary measures while food preparation in current era. Ayurveda emphasizes to take a food in accordance with one's own prakriti. Fruits and vegetables should be rinsed with water mixed with hingu and salt in order to avoid agriculture contaminants like pesticides, like colorants, etc. Accumulates attaches many of enzymes, mitochondria and persist in fat tissue and in absorbed through the skin, gut, lungs and produce various cancers. Deep in oil on high flame release carcinogens in air and free radicals within oil. Polyunsaturated oil like sunflower oil, corn oil should not be used for frying. All these are vidahi and ati ushna which cause mutation of rakta dhatu. Utensils with Teflon coating should be avoided. It will increase the risk of cancer of the food like leukemia in children. Heating food use plastic containers in microwave should be avoided. It releases dioxide and synthetic glycoproteins into food, which are carcinogenic and stick to the line of colon and leads to cancer. Apatya ahara. Intake of ushna ahar and pana can has risk of esophageal cancer. Chirasiddha, stall food, leftover food should be avoided as it causes stambha, agnimandya and produce ammo. Intake of refined polish and processed food are avoided, which leads to obesity, has a risk of breast cancer. Preserved and packaged non-vegetarian is avoided. Red meat, pork and beef are limited of thyroid, uterus, prostate. Too much of beverages should be avoided. Discussion. According to Ayurveda classic, Agni is the main cause of all disease. Agni plays an important role in the prevention of abnormal cells, that is cancer. Ahar will help to maintain healthy body, which can itself reduce the risk of many cancer. Multiple herb processes are essential for cancer care, which can use as medicine as well as food, that is tomatoes, aloe vera, ginger, cow urine, garlic, turmeric. Conclusion. The review shows that, as mentioned in Ayurveda diet, are plays an important role in the prevention and minimize the risk of cancer. We concluded that by making dietary efforts can prevent the risk of cancer and boost our ability to fight for cancer. These are the references. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pushpul Patil. The next presenter is Dr. Vijayalakshmi Radford.
I request everyone to offer flower to Pushpul Patil. Next presenter is Dr. Vijayalakshmi Radford.
Shubhamadhyanam everyone here. Myself Dr. Vijayalakshmi, I am from the RGMC Room College and my topic is a successful Ayurvedic therapeutic evidence for the management of the cancer. So here, WHO says approximately 1.9 million of the new cancer cases along with the 6 lakh of deaths has been seen worldwide in the 2020. So what will be the major cause factor for this? The first one is the lifestyle, level of physical activity, environmental pollution, personal hygiene, food. In Ayurveda, as we know, Ayurveda says it is a science which says due to the dosha and dosha samuchana, there will be a formation of the disease. Hence, Acharya says we need to go with the Shodhana and Shamana therapies. And along with that, Acharya even says the effective and developmental treatment for the antitoxins. When we think of the antitoxins in Agartatra, which is one among the Ashtanga Udaya, Ashtanga Ayurveda, they say like Dusha Visha, Gada Visha, Viruddhahara are the factors which causes the toxins involvement in our body, which is causes the many of the toxin diseases, nothing like the cancer. Here, Viruddhahara, Acharya Ashtanga Udaya Kara say, Viruddhahara Ahara which means Viruddhahara itself a Visha. The treatment protocol Acharya has been mentioned here, Langanam, Langana Pachanam, Doshavasechanam. So what happens when we take Viruddhahara, the formation of Ama will take place. Acharya Ashtanga Udaya Kara, he says, Ushno Alpa Balatvena allopathic here, Drakshari Kasha can be used. Doshavasechana, purification therapy. So here next, Acharya says Patyakarma. Why Patyakarma means here what happens after the dosha elimination of the body, if we take Guru's Snigdha Ahara, that leads to the further formation of the ama, which may lead to the formation of the progression of the diseases. So hence Acharya says Patyakarma to be followed. So here a treatment protocol with the pathogenesis in contemporary science. Amino acids are the essential for the growth and proliferation of the tumor and neovascularization. Hence, all the cookie diets should be avoided. Only Patyaris are advised. Okay. The chronicity of the disease shows the symptoms like ulceration of the mouth, diarrhea, hair loss, which resembles the lakshanas of ama. Hence, purification therapy is followed as Acharyas help many of the formulation which is acting as purification internally. Vilvadi, Munimbadi, Tatikyadi, Agatam. So here we many of the proven evidence-based drugs are there. There are many, but I have mentioned only few in this. First one is a Harita in the cancer. In the clinical studies, they have said if they have taken a case colorectal cancer, where they have waited for carried out for the waiting period of the post of surgery to see the cachexia. Cachexia is nothing but a muscle weakness to improve that. And many of the successful rate has been found in this study. And later in another study they have taken as a supplementation turmeric powder as to improve and to see the improvement in the hematological parameters in the breast cancer. Many of the in vitro studies have been carried out. That's anti-inflammatory, immunomodulator, anti-proliferative, chemopreventive, chemosensitizing, and prednisone. And along with that, Acharyas not only just doing a purification therapy, they have given the Rasayana Avadeha as an adjuvant to the radiotherapy chemotherapy. And here we can see the results. There are many number of good results. Alopecia, mucositis, many of the condition has been improved in a good percentage ways. So here the discussion I want to do is what happens in day-to-day life. We all are exposing to the many of the toxic factors like we are using lipsticks, hair dye, shampoos, which are leading to the formation of the toxins that is Visha. In the cancer, what happens in our day-to-day practice? No patient comes newly that I have cancer. What happens? They go to the chemotherapy, radiation, and then only will come after they getting some of the toxins in the body. So what happens? Chemotherapy is the first few days, it is a therapeutic dose. Later what it happens, it starts damaging the tissue in the body, which is our body element taken from the body. In radiotherapy, what happens? Due to the ionization, there will be a production of the peroxide, which causes a toxic effect on the body. This leads to the formation of ama, where Ayurveda has mentioned many purification therapy for the removal of doshas and management toxicity. Conclusion. So what happens after the exposure to too many toxins in this modern era? What happens means here the radiotherapy, the chemotherapy patients who undergo will get involved many of the toxins in their body, which are unable to eliminate from the body and affecting other tissues and damaging the other tissues. So here Ayurveda plays an important role because it has many of the formulations, rasayanas, therapies, and purification therapies to reduce. Thank you. I request the person to offer the hour
Now I call upon Dr. Nandini for next presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Nandini Kumare. I am from Roanoke College. My topic is Concept of Cancer in Ayurveda. Introduction. Cancer is a large group of disease that can be found in almost any organ or tissue of the body. When abnormal cells grow uncontrollably,
body go beyond their usual boundaries to invade the adjoining the body or spread to the other organ. Ayurveda is a traditional Indian medicine of the plants. Drugs has been successfully from very early times in using the natural drugs, preventing for the purpose of preventing and supporting the various tumors and various kind of treatment will be using. The Samhitas like Charaka and the Shishruta has explained the cancer will be described as the inflammatory and the non-inflammatory swelling, mention them as a Granthi and the Arbuda. Here the Granthi is defined as a round, hard and bulging swelling. Mostly it is having the predominancy of the Vata and the Kapha. The presence of capsule can be surgically removed, and second one is the Arbuda. It is a fixed and deeply rooted, slow progressive growth. Take a rapid course when it begins to ulcerate and spread. Etiological factor, many more etiology factor will be explained. A few of them is the continuous consumption of the carcinogenic factor, alcohol, tobacco, spicy food, and the factors like will be causing the hereditary cause, sedentary lifestyle, junk food, fast food, and exposure to the pollution, low immunity power, and air mixed with the chemicals and long-standing hormonal therapies. And according to the Shishruta, the sixth layer of the skin as a low-hanging here that pathogenic injuries to the layer in the muscular tissue and the blood vessels caused by the lifestyle errors and unhealthy food, poor hygiene, bad habits, like this improper diet and lifestyle will be leads to the imbalance of the dosha that will be picking up the agni that leads to the accumulation of the ama in the body that from the toxin formation that will be the root cause of the disease. Some etiological factor, it is based on the dosing theory that is Vata Pitta Kapha. It is plays an important role in the formation of this epigenesis. Some of the classification will be explained. According to the dosing factor, it will be classified according to the site. We are not seeing the in only one side. It will be any of the body. It will be arising. Some of the few example here given, and according to the prognosis, it will be classified under the sadhya. And according to the dhatu, here it will be the rakta, mamsa, and medaja. Arbuda will plays an important role. And some few treatment principles will be following in Ayurvedic faculties. Ayurveda Nigraha, there is the Dhatu, Kshaya and the Margavarada. Both will be needs taking care of the Bruhana and the Shotoshodhana, like the drugs like Inospora cadifolia. Pitta Shamana, it will be controls the excessive Ushna and the Tikshna. The drugs like Haritaki and Kapashodhana, it reduces the Guru, Pichila. At the time of the protect the Siddhas Lakshana and Utshashana, the drugs like Capillus spinosa and the Pongemia galacra and the Rasa Poshanas, the nourishment of the body by producing the health and the healthy rasa. For example, drugs like the Shari and the Shorika Prasadana maintain the delicate balance of the Ushna and the Rasaguna of the Rakta. The drugs like Lodra and Manjista and the Shukra Poshana, the nourishment and cleaning of the Shukra, and Ojo Vardaka increase the internal vigor, improving the quality and the Ojas, that are like Ashwagandha. Akti Dipana is having the meaning of the Akti Vardaka Dragas, that are like Shruti and Dhatu Vardaka. Here it will be using the Pitpali and Rasayana. Many more Rasayanas are available. Among them is Ashwagandha is mentioned. That is the Prakriti assessment part of the Ayurveda can identify the dosha predominance in the individual. Based upon that, will be treating the diseases. And nowadays, many herbs are under clinical studies and being investigated phytochemically to understand their anti-cancer potential. And cancer and chemotherapy have many adverse reactions like the gastritis, excessive vomiting, anemia, weight loss. These can be reduced. Many Ayurvedic preparations containing the Deepana Pachana, Panchakola, for example, Panchakola powder, ginger, pepper, like that drug will be using. In conclusion part, in Ayurveda, thank you. I request Dr. Sushmita to do presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Sushmita Bakre from Ayurveda Education Society's Ayurvedic Medical College, Rome. My today's topic is concept of cancer in Ayurveda with special reference to Sanya Arbuda. Cancer is compared to a condition Arbuda described in Ayurvedic texts. Signs and symptoms of many pre-cancerous and post-cancer states can be observed under different conditions like Ulpa, Apache, Gandamala, etc. Charaka described Arbuda in the chapter of Shofa, that is inflammatory and non-inflammatory spellings in Charaka Sutra 18 and Charaka Chikitsa 12. Vaibhava mentioned about Arbuda of lips, tongue, nose and breast. The science of Ayurveda is supposed to add a step on to the curative aspects of cancer that have resemblance with the clinical entities of Arbuda and Granthi mentioned in Sushruta Samhita. Ayurvedic concept of cancer. In the foremost and earliest record of Atharva Veda, the disease was nomenclatured as Apache. They represented their views regarding cancer as swelling superficially or situated in the deep structures or sometimes as chronic ulcers. Such swellings or lumps can be considered as Arbuda. Ayurvedic literature defines three body control systems: the nervous system, Vata, the venous system, Pitta, and the arterial system, Kapha, which mutually coordinate to perform the normal function of the body. Dushta Arbuda is Tanya. Nature of Arbuda begins size, increases and decreases in size according to body fat, colored, discolored, and pale appearance. Pain doesn't cause much pain, but Vataja is very painful. Touch stony, hard, and fixed. Secretion mostly non-suppurative. Agni, Jatravanya and Dhatravanya are involved. Dosha, Tridosha, Dushya, Mamsa, and Meda. Samprapti etiological factors cause aggravation of doshas accumulated in the breast tissue, causing excess abrasion in muscle tissues. Such muscular growth has a broader base. Nidan of Arbuda. Cancer in each person differs according to person's exposure to pathogens and genetic constituents, which make each one of them react different at the same time. According to principle of Ayurveda, there is no diseases without the rearrangement of doshas, and these are the causes which causes the arrangement of doshas. First line of management, Shalyatantra, that is surgical removal of tumor, Shrotarodha, clearance of obstruction of vital pathways, cutting of the nerves, carrying the pain. Second line of treatment, Vyadhi Pratyanidhika Chikitsa, that is chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and Rasayana, Ayurvedic immunotherapy. The goal of immunotherapy is to enable the patient's body to produce substances that resist the growth of cancer. This is obtained through the use of naturally occurring substances which increases the activity of immune system, that is OJAS. The body's failure to detect and destroy abnormal cells is due to low OJAS. Ayurveda can be used to alleviate the side effects of chemo and radiotherapy. The general line of treatment, Shodhana Chikitsa, Dhatu Chikitsa, Rasayana Prayoga, Vyadhi Pratyanika Chikitsa, Lakshanika Chikitsa, and Shastra Chikitsa. Meduja Svedana at first, followed by surgical excision and suturing are advocated. Haritra, Boduma, Lodra, Manshila, etc. are made into powder and applied externally by mixing them with Madhu. Conclusion. Ayurveda plays an important contemporary role to Western medicine in treatment efficacy. The most ancient and science of life, Ayurveda, has a long history and its basic principles are valid even today. In addition, more than 80% of the world population cannot afford modern medicine. Ayurvedic practitioners and researchers in medical sciences can help to improve this medicine by increasing their involvement and contribution. Thank you.
I request chairperson to offer a flower to Dr. Sushmita. Next, I call upon Dr. Mamta for the next presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr.
PG Scholar, Department of Panchakarma, Ayurveda, Mahavidyalaya, Hubli. Today's topic of my presentation is scientific review on concept of cancer in Ayurveda. These are contents of my topic. Introduction. Cancer is the second leading cause of death behind heart diseases in USA. 10 million new cases of the cancer are diagnosed each year, and 7.9 million deaths occur from the cancer each year worldwide, which is 13% of the total death. In 2012, there were an estimated 14.1 million new cases of cancer in the world, 7.4 million in males and 6.7 million in females, giving a male-female ratio of 10:9. Cancer is as old as human civilization. Description regarding cancer is also found in the most ancient treatises of Ayurveda, that is Charak Samhita and Sushruta Samhita. They describe cancer as inflammatory or non-inflammatory swelling, mention them as Granthi or Arbut. However, incidences of cancer have been increased by 20 times in last 100 years. The most commonly diagnosed cancer worldwide are those of lung cancer, breast and colorectal cancer. Ayurvedic concept of cancer. According to Ayurveda, imbalance of the three doshas is the root cause of all the diseases. A lot of the factors are responsible for the vitiation of these three doshas, out of which the important factors being faulty dietetic regime, improper diet patterns, disturbed sleep, suppression of the natural urges, lack of exercises, etc. According to the description given by Shushruta, Arbudas are gradually increasing mass of big size, globular in shape, fixed with deeper structure, usually do not separate, giving occasional pain and can occur in any part of the body. It can involve mass and rough due to vitiation of Tridosha. VAIBHAV is also mentioned that large granthis are called as arbud. They are of 6 kinds because of predominance of the megas and cup generally, and due to deep rootedness, they do not ripen. Mithya Ahar and Mithya Vihar probably changes local or systemic biochemical factors including the hemodynamics leading to the origin of the arbudas. Shushruta describes 3 forms of the metastasis, Daktarbut, Adyarbut and Realated. Now comes to the pathogenesis of cancer. Dosh Prakopak, Dhatu Pradoshkar, Agni Mandakar and Khair. All these nitanas will do the weakness of the particular dhatu. That will cause Dhatvagni Mandakar arm. It will further lead the formation of the Asab dhatu. Then co-regulate in the tissues takes place, then Sthan Central, then Beach Thak and Beach Thak Abhyab Dishti will take place. This will help in formation of the Dushit Dhatu plus Dushit Toch plus arm. That will form primary lesion. When Vak carries this lesion from one place to a place where there is Dhatu share, and it will form cancer. We can call this stage as metastatic phase. Chikitsa Sthan, in the beginning stage of the treatment is done according to the predominancy of the doshas and Vak Avirodhi Chikitsa. But in the later stage, Vak is given more importance. Sthanam Jayanti Purvam, then after the complication we treat. Main name of the treatment is Ampa, Indipan, Doshaman, Dhatu Prasadan and Oj Prasadan. Shaman Chikitsa, Tridosh Shamak medicines. Medicines capable of pacifying the three doshas include Tripla, Dashgun, Guruchi, Yasri Madhu. Tripla strengthens the different tissues of the body, prevents aging, promotes health and immunity. Dashgun balances the three doshas when there is high vitiation of Vak, exhibiting antioxidant, anti-cancer activity. Guruchi balances the doshas, helps in increasing the effectiveness of the protective white blood cells and builds up the body's own defense mechanism. Yasri Madhu pacifies Vak and aggravates cough and is most known for its soothing effect on the inflamed mucous membranes of throat, lung, stomach and intestine. Lycorize shows anti-cancer properties. Liver protective. Maintain the proper metabolism and protect liver from the side effects of the anti-cancer medicines. These include Bhume Amalki, Kakmachi Kalidi, organ specific. In lung cancer we use Vasa and Kantakari. In uterine cancer we use Thonea. Cancer Bhume Amalki Kalme, breast cancer Matulum and colon cancer Sunthi Marij, prostate Shalmali Bulu. Panchkarma. In primary stage Lekhan treatment, in secondary stage Ghan treatment, and then after we will do Vyaktas treatment for Opshodan and Brahan Chikitsa. In Brahan we can use Kajnar Dhatu. Sadhya where we can use Bhograt plus salt. Sweden we can do Nadi Sway, Upna, Virechal, Vaman, Basti, etc. treatments. They will manage the complications produced by the radiation and the chemotherapy. These are the rasayanas. Hirak rasayan for lung cancer, Kasturi rasayan for brain cancer, Prashama Bhasm for stomach. These are the rasayan we use in different cancers. Conclusion. Ayurveda can be employed as safe and effective therapy for the management of pain during the chemotherapy and radiation therapy. Need of the hour is to raise awareness and implementation. Integrated system plays an important role in improving the quality of life. next person.
Good afternoon everyone. Myself Dr. Madhuri, final year PG scholar, Department of Panchakarma, Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Hubli. My topic is recent advances on cancer research in Ayurveda, a short review guided by Dr. Vasan Patil sir. Nowadays, the cancer has become the most deadliest disease. There are many common cancers like breast cancer, lung cancer, etc. The modern disease has a keen observation in treating the diseases like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, surgery, but they are associated with many complications. So this, to improve the quality and to prevent this complication, now the global community is looking towards the Ayush to improve the quality of life. So to fight with this global demand, we the Ayush system has to know has to update our knowledge in this rare field of oncology. So I am presenting this short review here. Aims and objective of my topic are, this is a short review of published data in the PubMed and to understand the role of evidence-based Ayurvedic interventions in the management of cancer. Literature screening. First, the data extraction was done by the articles which were published in the PubMed by using the keywords like cancer, Ayurveda, etc. Then data was analyzed and it was classified as breast cancer articles, prostate cancer articles, and discussed based on the effectiveness of the drugs. Now we'll see some examples. First is scientific advances of Ayurvedic research on breast cancer. For this, we have screened PubMed and we have got a total of 80 studies. Among them, 14 were reviews. One was a clinical trial, one was a RCT, and 2 were systemic reviews. Now we'll see research updates on systemic reviews. First was the systemic review on complementary therapies. In this, they have studied more than 15 complementary therapies like yoga therapy, then pranayama therapy, music therapy, and they have got good results. In second review is on the use of fermented wheat germ extract. They have used this as an adjuvant therapy and it has given good result because it inhibits the cell proliferation of cancer. This is the RCT, it's an important RCT in the field of Ayurveda. They have used the nanoparticle gold basma here for treating the breast cancer and it has given 100% clinical benefit. This RCT has undergone all in vitro, in vivo and human trials. Next, in the same way, we'll see some research updates on breast cancer. The drugs or compounds like ashwagandha, genistin, it's a legume compound, vidafarin or soralin which is commonly found in the lemon, all are giving good result on breast cancers because all are having anti-tumor activity, anti-neoplastic activity and anti-metastatic activity. These are some important research updates. First is Maharshi Amrit Kalasha. They have done the research on 2 complements, Maharshi Amrit Kalash 4 and 5 supplements. They have given good results on the liver carcinoma. Next is the research on Raudra Rasa with Hiraka Basma. It has also shown good anti-cancerous potential. Then the research on cytochrome formulation, this was commonly used nowadays in cancer treatment. The research on cow's urine and the research is going on capsule prasad, Sarveshwar Parpati, etc. is going on. In the same as of breast cancer, we can search in PubMed, that is research updates on prostate cancer also. Here the Vitrimalan, that is Karavelaka Swarasa, done the use of Shatputi Abraka Basma. They are given good result on prostate cancer. Same way, the use of Drona Pushpi Rasadianti Layam, it is commonly used in Kerala peoples and used of curcumin. They have also shown good result on prostate cancer. How we have searched for a particular cancer, we can search on review. On ginger, we have got 12 clinical research, all were and it is used for oral and aromatherapy. It has shown good antiemetic effect when used with in radiotherapy patients. In the same way, honey and turmeric, it has used for gargling and it has used for local application to treat the radiotherapy induced oral mucositis. Both have given the good results in cancer. In the same way, we can search on research updates on adjuvant therapies like use of curcumin, the use of Indukantagrika, use of Kankasau, all have given good results as an adjuvant therapy. These are commonly used Ayurvedic formulations, Lokanath, Raudra Rasa, Tamravasa. The research is going on and some has already done. Conclusion, the Ayurvedic approach is lagging behind in this rare field because only few Vaidyas like Tapan Vaidya, this Palendu Prakash are practicing. The standard research work in clinical trials should be to develop a separate entity as an oncology, Ayurveda oncology specialty. These Ayurvedic modalities can stand alone or they can be used along with the chemotherapy or radiotherapy drugs. So the taking home message of this study is the integration of Ayurveda system or Ayush system along with the modern medicine can set a goal to improve the quality of life in the cancer patients. Thank you.
I request Dr. Rupayan for the next presentation.
Good evening everyone. Myself Dr. Rupayan, second year PG scholar, Department of Carcinoma. I'm from DGM Ayurvedic Medical College, Kerala. Now I'm gonna discuss about the concept of with a special reference to the cancer. The contents I'm gonna discuss deal with definition, nidana, along with its modern correlation. Then coming to the definition. श्लोक क्वचित् गात्रप्रदेशे क्वचित् एव दोषः समुचितः मांसाभिप्रदुष्यवृत्तं स्थिरं मन्दरुजं महता अनल्पमूलं चिरवृद्ध्यभागं कुर्वन्ति मांसोपश्यन्तु शोभं तदद्भुतं शस्त्रविदो वदन्ति. So this explains like क्वचित् samuchita which is intensified, analpa which is numerous and many, Mula, it's deep, Mahanta, it's large or extensive, Chiravuddhi, it takes time to progression, and Upachaya, it's elevation. According to modern, it is also gives same definition like the mass of tissue formed as a result of abnormal, excessive, uncoordinated, autonomous, and purposeless proliferation of the cell even after cessation of the stimulus. The cancer is derived from crab, has its slow-growing, localized, or spread throughout the body and sticks to the parts stubborn. Next, Nidana. Nidana, according to Ayurveda, based on the Doshik theory of Pitta and Kapha and Mithya Ahara and Vihara, precipitating factors of vitiated Kapha and initiation and trauma. In trauma, there is a correlance in Ayurveda, Musti Praharadi, Bir Adite Ange Mamsa, Pradushte Takaroti Shofam, Pradushta Mamsasya Narasya, Badamated Mamsa Paranasya. In the morning sessions, Sir has said about incidence of cancer in Goa by intake of red meat. This is one of the examples. Coming to the modern side, physical carcinogens has ultraviolet and ionizing radiations. Chemical carcinogens, asbestos, alcohol, aflatoxin is a food contaminant, and arsenic. Biological carcinogens, infections of certain viruses, bacteria, parasites. Veda. According to Ayurveda, this is Vata, Pittaja, Kaphaja, Rakkaja, Mansaja, and Arbuda. Next, according to modern, it's a benign tumor or malignant tumor. Coming to the Lakshanas of Arbuda, according to the Vataja Arbuda, it is having surrounding tissues are compressed or restrained and distressing, severe pain, clear flow of external sombrate. Pittaja Arbuda, Chusha, Prajvala, Papachete, which is not healed also, and excessive warm exudates, and the pain will be like a set on the fire, and Chusha type of pain is then Kapaja Arbuda, the symptoms are cold in touch, which is not discolored, which is mild pain, severe itching. Coming to the Megaja Arbuda, which is decrease according to the decrease of the body, slimy or unctus, and lodging. Ghataka Arbuda, like we have here Mamsaja Arbuda and Raktaja Arbuda. The correlance is Nidana sort of Mushti Prahara, those who are involved in fish and wrestling, fighting, which leads to the Mamsa Pradushta. The Lakshanas would be like Avedana, Snigdha, Anyavarna, Apaka, Ashmo, Apracharya, which is not movable, not painful, onctus, unicolor, and not ripened. Coming to Raktaja Arbuda, doshas along with the blood localized in the sira, pain and constrictions of the sira lead to the apakam of the shota or a slightly paka of the shota, rushing out or getting and rushing out of the exudates. Sadhya Asadhya, there are two kinds. Asadhya, strong pressure associated with exudation, locality in vital points, involvement of the channels, immovable, strong penetration, which develops over the period and at time. These are considered as asadhya. Differences are such Arbuda and Ghataka Arbuda. Few examples of Soumya Arbuda is Vata Pitta Kafacha can be considered as Medocha. When the intent is continued, then it will be converted into Ghataka Arbuda, and Ghataka Arbuda is Rakta Arbuda and Mamsa Arbuda. Finally, I would like to tell a derivation of Arbuda. There is three conditions. In Vedic period, Arbuda is named by a serpent, demon serpent. And Arbuda in our Asian period there is a Mount Abu, which is in Rajasthan, which is the highest peak. In Vedic period, this Mount Abu is called as Arbudaranya. And coming to, thank you. I request the person to offer a flower to the presenter. Next, I call upon Dr. Baswaraj for the next presentation.
Myself, Dr. Baswaraj Jamgi, final year PG scholar, Department of Shalabundra. These are my guides. I am from Ayurvedic Medical College, Onco. These are the contents. Aims. Counseling and care of the cancer patient is needed. The direct method treating the cancer and indirect method treating the patient. Reduction of the radiotherapy and chemotherapy effect should be carried. Providing nutritive support is maintaining physical, mental and socio-economic status of the life objectives. Early screening of the cancer, prescription of the medicine or drug before, after, along with the radiotherapy and chemotherapy is necessary. Mode of different formulation with respect to systemic organ cancer should be done. Standard protocol of Ayurveda care for the patient undergoing chemotherapy during and post chemotherapy is needed. Data collection, literary research, clinical studies should be carried under the government sector. The research and evidence-based medicine practice should be carried. Cancer. According to Acharya Sushruta, the aggravation of the dosha accumulated in a particular localized area of the body, they causes excessive abrasion in the muscle tissue, that is Mamsa Pradushana. Hence, in this area, the circular, stable, mild, painful, large, broad base or non-suppurative growths are caused, which are gradually mature in nature. Such abnormal, prominent growth are termed as a cancerous mass or arbuda. The types are Vataja, Pittaja, Kapaja, Raktaja Arbuda, Mamsaja Arbuda and Medaja Arbuda. Arbuda refer to benign nature of the tumor and Adya Arbuda which is malignant nature of tumor. These are the treatment principles. According to Acharya Charaka, Adya Arbuda should be treated like a cyst or abscess. They have, as they have similar site of origin, etiology, characteristics, future and dosha and dushas, the effort should be carried to mature the growth and later the cautery is carried. According to Acharya Sushruta, in Vataja, Sthanika Svedana, application of Katu Taila, Rakta Mokshana should be carried. In Pittaja, Svedana Virechana, Prachanna by the leaves of teak, application of the Kalka of Arakvada, Gojiva, Trivruta and Silva Mansu. In Kapaja, Vamana Virechana, Rakta Mokshana, Lepa, Palangli, Karavira, application of the Chara, Agni Karma and Shastra Karma should be carried. These are some of the cases. Case number 1. It's a case report of the 2 Indian practice with the best case series. That is under BCS program under National Cancer Institute. The reports given that the 15 and 62% were rated persistency of 25 and 15% were rated to supportive. Many cases were not rated because of lack of the primary source. A small trial of 67 patients with cancer scheduled to receive chemotherapy were randomly assessed to receive the Ayurvedic therapies, that is Mukta Yukti Kamadutta and Mukta Yukta Praval Panchamruta during the chemotherapy. The Swarna Pasmadi with both the other 2 drugs chemotherapy for 16 weeks were carried. It was carried for 6 months. The patient improved nausea, appetite, constipation, fatigue, so on. The quality of life measures so. This is the second case. The Haridra, Tulsi, Gudchi, Badara. These herbal powders were made in a powder form and given in vitro study. That is 200 mg per body weight per day. The study clearly suggests that chemoprotective and cytotoxic activities free from the toxic side effects. These herbal compounds are unique in their in their future and having the anti-oxidating and immunostimulant activities preventing the growth indirectly. The direct cytotoxic effect towards the malignant or other apoptotic cells. This is case number 3. The drugs Arakvada, Pata, Gudchi, Patola, Kirata. The in vitro studies in ethanolic extract showed the viability of MC7 cells up to the 50% in 80 microgram, 37% in 220 microgram, 320 microgram and 20% in 640 microgram measured. The animal study showed no mortality showed after the 14 days feeding herbal powders and no physical and behavioral changes in the mice. It was studied in animal. Case number 4. This animal study suggests that the Amruta Prashana, Ashwagandha Rasayana, Brahmi Rasayana, Chavan Prasha, Narsimha Rasayana and Triphala. All these are reducing radio insidious toxicities such as body and organ. It was carried for 6 to 1 year. In human study that reported which was Brahma Rasayana improved the immune function and reduced the serum peroxidase as well as the leukemia, etc. Rather than the cure of the cancer disease, care of the cancer is needed. Never think of the statistical result. Clinical result is sufficient. Use of the clinical based mineral product. Thank you.
I request chairperson to offer the flower to the president. Next, I request Dr. Sangamesh for the next presentation.
PhD scholar from SMC Ayurvedic College, Havadi, and I am presenting on Ayurvedic management for chemoradiotherapy induced side effects in cancer patients. As I am a practitioner of years, I used to get the cancer cases in my OPDs, in our college OPDs also. And cancer originates due to metabolic changes. Vata dosha is responsible for the cell deviation and aggravation of Vata and suppression of Kapha, both the doshas interacting with another results proliferation of cells, and it leads to an abnormal cell division resulting to benign or malignant tumors. In 21st century, the world is running behind the alternative medicines like Ayurveda, minimize side effects with chemotherapy and prolongation of lifespan. Hence, it is an important to adopt Ayurvedic therapies, co-therapies along with the chemo and radiation therapies. The article are the presentation, whatever complete review about the various information regarding Arbuda and what under the single you can details about the Arbuda cancer. And here is the first case which have been practiced in, which have been got in my OPD. The name is M.K. Patil, often 70 years male, who has been met with the rectum CA, and he has been operated twice, and he has been undergone the chemotherapy in the SCG hospital in Hubli and Bangalore also, and he has also undergone the colorectal surgery and for the carcinoma of rectum. When he has been got with the colorectal surgery and the chemotherapies and all, he met with post symptoms like loose stools, of loss of stools, and the recurrent loss of electrolytes, vomiting, burning sensation, and loss of appetite and all was there. He used to get the 10 to 15 times loose stools, and the allopathy antibiotics with an ofloxacin, norfloxacin, everything was tried, and I've been given in OPD the Adimastrona 1 spoon twice with Takra, and the Purchase spoons 3 times have been given on OPD basis, and Purchase perpetuity GADAG. And last, it was not under control also. Once the Himalaya drug, which has been consumed upon the flora scented tablet, it was there, and it was given in BT doses. Then it came into an under control. So the post therapy of chemo, post therapy of the colorectal surgery, post therapy of cancer, the international CA was payment treatments. The restricted with diets and regimens with the more amount of liquids were advised. And second case is, it was treated in an MOI hospital, which was in MOI it was being treated, and before this in SCG hospital Hubli it was treated. The CA tongue, there is a case, he is an PWD engineer and he has met with the tongue of CA, and he has been treated with the post symptoms. The appetite was less and he was unable to speak, and the appetite was less. He lost the taste of the complete lost because the lack of the tongue surgery was, and it has been treated with the post treatment according to the symptoms it has been treated, and the Chandraprala's TID, Kamadut Moktuk was given, Riflakashaya for gargling, and the Madana Fluorescina 100 ml 3 times it was given, orally plenty of fluids and liquid diet was maintained, and with all the restricted diets and liquid foods, it has been the post-operative care was taken. And it is third case. It's on the third case is it's from Belgaum case, and it has been the case is often the thyroiditis case, which has been met in CA of thyroiditis, and Shekaras and Kamudot Moktik and Shivagutika half BD for only with warm water, and calm syrup was given, and Samla compound as a rasayana therapy it was given. And its fourth case, it's a case of a bridge CA which has been treated, and it has to 3 days back I have seen this due to their economical variation, it has been not got into an surgery. After 3 days to be done. Before this, the has a pre-treatment Teflaclor DS and Shivagutika half BD Dashmalarista with an Amriprash gold rasayana has been treated. This is given. And next is the Ayurvedic treatment and management. There is a protocol I have been what my OPDs, and it's a general measures, prevention and care, and these are the Ayurvedic ways to prevent the cancer, which are protocol. Then it's a maintenance of rights and diets and regimens, and these are the holistic medicine, the Ayurvedic cancer care treatment which has been included. The conclusion, Ayurveda plays an important complementary role in Western medicine's treatment efficiency. The most of the ancient wisdom cases, and Ayurveda has a long history of its black principles valid even today. In addition, with 80% of the world population, they offer the modern medicine. Ayurvedic practitioner researchers in medical sciences can help to improve the medical medicine by increasing their involvement in the contribution of cancer. And another thing, with all our permission, I have been from 8 to 10 years, I have been connected with the medical director Suresh Rao in Mangalore Oncology Institute, and sir has been sent an 1 minute message, and I want to play that.
I am Dr. Suresh Rao, Director of Management Institute of Oncology, and I wish the Onco Veda 2022 will come up with good solutions and strategies in the management of cancer. As all of you know, cancer is a major illness, and India is facing a major challenge with its aging population in terms of cancer incidence and the cost and the physical and mental and social problems that are associated with cancer. Dr. Sangamesh has been in touch with me for the last 10 years, and lot of his patients we have treated here in MIO, and I hope that he will be involved in this project of management of cancer, and I wish him also personally my best wishes. Thank you.
In my practice, practical general practice, I have been treated with the help of this MOI. We have been treating now also. There have been more than 100 to 150 cases throughout the 8 to 10 years we have been operated. For the poor guys, the free treatment, free surgery has been done, and it's an big topic where the Ayurveda should come forward, and it's happy situation and happy thing that it has been arranged well and it's fine. Thank you, Ananda.
I request chairperson to open a flower.
Thank you, sir. Here we finished with the first section of oral paper presentation, and now I request the co-chairperson for the remarks.
So first of all, I congratulate all the presenters. Many of the presentations were on preventive aspect, and many of them are on the rail. They are more on focusing on the samhitas, what is there in the samhitas. And one thing I request to all the postgraduate students, you should not the post graduation we should explore. It should not be explained as it is in the samhitas. So two of the presenters, what I have observed, and starting with the first presentation, the Dr. Mamta, the scientific review of cancer in Ayurveda. So she has compiled the references, most of the references she has compiled, and the adoption of the Shodhana Panchakarma. So yes, morning session only Dr. Satyanarayan Bhatt sir has said, the show first to have to judge the patient strength, bala, patient Rogi Bala is most important before introducing the Panchakarma. Still, she said some of the therapies, and I said the interpretation is more important than exploring the concept. And second one, Dr. Madhuri, the recent advances on cancer. So here one, the collection and citing article references, everything was good, but so if it is focused on only one concept, it will be a more informative, and many of the undergraduate students are also sitting here. So instead of explaining the many articles, references or the citing references, so better you would have explained one or two articles, interpret with your interpretation, that will be a more appreciable. And many of the diseases you said about these are the compilations, these are the researches were conducted and these are having good results. See, such type of studies are not important. In which aspect of the cancer it is having good result, that is most important. And Rupa, once again she have compiled. So on Arbuda what Shushruta has explained as it is. And Kushbu Patil, Ayurveda Ahara, so more about it was the Swastha Rakshana. Swastha is a Swastha Rakshana, Adhura Savikara Prashana. So anyhow, she also contributed. And Vijayalakshmi Rathod, so one thing she has explained about Agada Prayoga, so that is appreciable, and about the many medicines, what they are already tried in cancer. And Nandini, so etiology, the preventive aspect she has explained, that was also very good. And Sushmita, the concept of cancer in Ayurveda, Stanya Arbuda. See, particularly she has selected Stanya Arbuda, that is good, but still that needs some more interpretation. Success stories, we have to mention some success stories. And lastly, Dr. Dodgald sir. So really, we have to appreciate sir effort in the cancer treatment, and they have chosen the area, the side effects of the post chemo and radiotherapy. Definitely they do happen. So during the recovery phase, there are a lot of side effects the patient will face, and many of the patients died during the chemotherapy also. And many Ayurvedic adjuvant therapy or Rasayana therapy, definitely they are useful, one of the area for the research. So either for both PG scholars and PhD scholars, even for the teachers' projects. Once again, I congratulate all the presenters for beautiful presentation, and I thank all the organizers for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request the chairperson for the presentation remarks.
Good afternoon. I have been given an opportunity to be chaired the session of an oral presentation from the different PG and PhD scholars. I am very much thankful to the organizer for giving me the opportunity. And I would like to acknowledge or to congratulate all the PGs and the PhD scholars who have been given their best as the best, because we have to appreciate and encourage rather than we will be commenting. I properly appreciate, and they have given in a very best presentation in a minimum period of 4 minutes. So congratulations everyone. Even though one may be the ultimate winner, all they are being the winners who are will be standing in front of the audience of about 50 to 60 members who are always well versed of Ayurveda. Okay, here the topic and in this state level CME, the topic for the paper presentations have been in the 3 versions. So clinical success stories, case report, as well as the review of the concept of Ayurveda over the cancer. So in the present session, we have seen all these stories, all these topics. So the concept of concept of cancer in Ayurveda has been presented. Either it may be in the form of as Dr. Kushbu has presented, the interpretations, Svatya, Apatya, and has what will be the current scenario for the understanding in Apatya that has been explained very well. And Dr. Vijayalakshmi has given again the concept as well as the clinical story. Evidences have been given that by comparing the etogenesis with the Garavisha and quoting as a Mithya Ahara or a Viruddhahara as one of the factors for pathogenesis of cancer, and that leads to a formation of the Ahara, and it includes purification therapy followed by so many of the anti-cancerous, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, immunomodulatory therapies which have been proven by the various in vitro as well as the in vitro clinical studies. So I appreciate her also. Dr. Nandini has given a concept of Ayurveda cancer correlating with Granthi and Arbuda. So she has given a review of the literature, and it is of a bird view. 4+1 minute, she has given a protocol and compared the review here. And Dr. Shushmita has specifically given about sir already mentioned. She is the one person who has highlighted on the specific disease also. Every remaining everyone is saying randomly saying cancer. So here she has the one person who has given the view or the approach of a treatment in this Tanya Buddha. She has specifically mentioned what should be done surgically and what should be the Shamana Chikitsa to be adopted after the treatment. So then Dr. Mamta, so sorry to say, so the description is more as we are observing. So she must to understand that the slide should be contained a minimum description, and she has highlighted the choice of drugs which have been mentioned in the classes. So she has given a wide variety of the choices for a treatment aspect, and she has also mentioned about the choice of therapies based on the types of the diseases. So this is your intervention, who are will be listening here, your interpretation of a disease aspect, and you have to choose what is the appropriate treatment. So few of the evidences have been given by Dr. Madhuri. So she has given and she has given a collection, and we say as it is one of the type of a literary review as compiling all the literatures related to the cancer and documenting. This is the need of our work today because we lacking in the meta-analysis. there is no meta-analysis of the disease. So this may be one of the research protocol. So here she has given all the aspects and compared every therapy. So here whatever the presenter has been done, all have been the evidences with. So the choice is left to you which one to choose based on the what kind of a cancer you are treating. So Dr. Rupa has, of course, she has again given a literary review over the comparative analysis of Arbula with the cancer. Dr. Dasandrash has started with a protocol for Ayurvedic care, and he has given some classical references and given 2 to 3 clinical study evidences. I also appreciate, as the theme has been in a clinical story, I also congratulate him for the presentation. Last but not least, Dr. Sangamesh has highlighted. So up to this, they are only being in a treatment protocol and a preventive aspect. Later, Dr. Sangamesh has given what should be the treatment if there is a complication, or what the situation found today. So all the patients are approaching us after the complications of the disease only. So he has highlighted what should be done within a case reports. I congratulate on him also, sir. So whatever it may be, so in a nutshell, all the presenters have put their effort and they have presented work. Congratulations once again. I am very much thankful to here to be great part of this. Thank you, Anina.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we are going to start with the third scientific session. I would like to welcome you all for the third scientific session by Dr. Prashant A.S. sir on the topic Principles and Management of Cancer in Ayurveda. I request Dr. Prashant sir to come over the dais. Please, sir. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Prashant sir. Dr. Prashant A.S. sir is well known for his valuable contributions and services in the field of clinical Ayurveda and Ayurvedic education since 26 years. Sir has completed his BMS degree from Karnataka University, Dharwad with gold medal. Sir completed his post-graduation in Kai Chikitsa from prestigious Government Ayurveda College, Thiruvananthapuram. Sir completed his PhD from Tilak Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Maharashtra. Sir has published more than 150 research papers in various journals, international magazines, written Ayurvedic books in Kannada and Malayalam. Sir was a research person at various conferences, scientific advisor for many workshops, advisor for Index Journal, International Ayurveda Medical Journals. Sir has presented various research papers at many national and international conferences. Now I request Dr. Jairaj P. Basrigidan sir, HOD and Professor, Department of Panchakarma, to present bouquet to sir. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Prashant A.S. Provided to everyone. If you queries, please write it in the chat and give it to the anchoring desk. During panel discussion, it will be discussed.
Respected teacher and well-wisher principal of this institution, Dr. Umesh Pura sir,
Dr. S.K. Hireman sir, the head of the Department of Chiropractic, organizing secretary of the event, Dr. Santosh Pedavadi, and all my colleagues, dear postgraduate students and delegates. The management of cancer has become a great challenge, and even it has become a bread and butter of an Ayurveda practice, what I believe. Because many times a poor individual comes with a history of different malignancies, wherein the diagnostic, the therapeutic procedures and their cost becomes very high. So that the Ayurveda system of medicine, tribal medicines, folk medicines, they show significant changes, at least to improve the quality of the life of the patient. Usually, for any kind of arbuda, granthi, or even it may be a condition like stana shofa, stana kilaka, stana vigradi, or a simple situation like gulma. What I'm going to say is, directly for carcinoma or any tumor, comparative term in Ayurveda is not possible. It may be granthi at certain occasion, it may be an arbuda, another site. It may be even a possibility of gulma roga with sannipata, the variety, or nicha, or in the breast cancers, it may be sanakilaka, sanavidradi, or sanashoka. So, direct interpretation from the modern entity to Ayurveda is not at all possible. What I want to say is, again, these are the two parallel lines that will not coincide at a particular point. We will not have our own diagnostic methods by the dosha vikalpa, by the samprapti ghataka, and at least by the sadhya sadhyata, we will be able to decide to help our patient. Vikarana kushalo na jikriyat kadachana. Therefore, Janaka says, always, we need not get puzzled, the diagnosis is not possible. No. Vikaranam akushalo na jikriyat kadachana. Nahi kinchit vikaranam namatros durvastiti. Therefore, our main aim is to have the judgment and the medicine and what has to be done to the patient at the dosha pratinika, vyadi pratinika level. It may be Yuktiyopashaya, Sattvavajaya, these of treatments. So in India, now the incidence of cancer, if we look, in Veda states, the highlights shows that in different colors. For example, involvement of lungs with the tobacco. It is said in the Shastra, the Vyasani is unable to leave the tambak. Yatha marjaraha tamakum na tyajati tata vyasani tamakum na munchati. How the cat of the olden days, I am not telling the cat of the current century, current period, because the cats are very weak and rats and mouse very larger and they are bigger, and if there is a fighting happen between a cat and mouse, and naturally the rats will definitely conquer and cats will get defeated in the war. Because you see their size and their very bodily, their body weight, etc., they are powerful enough. Tamakum na tyajati. Achara is not going to leave any rats if it is found. Tata vyasani tamakum na tyajati. A vyasani who is getting addicted for tambaku na tyajati. He is unable to leave it because of his monomicry. I address my students that we have to see Gujarat state. That is where the oral carcinoma and its incidence is very high. Gutkas. So Manik Chand Gutka, I am not going to label the company here.
Gutka has been introduced to the market. Now people started consuming. Especially our poor socio-economic population. One of our started taking this gutka, and he was brought by his parents. Of late, unable to talk properly. He is still missing the syllables. There are lots of mouth ulcerations, and myself and our teacher Dr. Hullur sir was there. We asked him to open the mouth. So there was a shrinkage of the tongue with a severe fibrosis, and the mucosal ulcerations were happened. He is about to get the cancerous stage, that is cancer of the tongue. So this gutka intake, uncontrolled eatage of the gutka started all these problems. Now among the rickshaw drivers, among the automobile, the fitters, etc., we see these kind of scenario. After one series of gutka is introduced in the market, there should not be any competition. The same company owner, the same, he started another gutka, so that there should not be any, another third person should come to the market and occupy the seat. Ultimately, what happened? The son, one of the sons of the same manufacturer of the gutka company had a CA tongue, severe laryngeal carcinoma, and died out of that. So we see people should eat, we should get the economy, money should come in different routes. Ultimately, he decided. In that way, the cancer hospital has been established in one of the areas in Gujarat. If we visit now young ladies with breast carcinoma, if we visit our Karnataka Society Cancer Hospital at Hubli, we will see a series of people sitting, young adults sitting with diagnosed carcinoma. So this CA tongue and other issues are very common issues and problems. No pain Maharo in Charaka Indriya, there is a very important statement observed by Acharya Charaka, it seems. He says, a patient is brought to the outpatient department. No pain the Kanta Maharo. His history is that I am unable to swallow the food. Jihva Kanta Mupaitita, in between Jihva and Kanta, there is a stagnation. That is fat. Probably in conditions like esophageal stenosis, followed by achalasia cardia, and where conditions like squamous cell carcinoma and adenocarcinoma of the esophagus, you will get all these problems. What is told by Charaka, Mopayiti Kantama, Kanta Mupaitita, Ayushantam Gate Tasmin. His is gone, he is not going to survive. Valamcha Parihiyate, and severe emaciation with nutritional deficiencies are observed. So by the intake of gutka, tobacco, we see large number of population with history of mouth carcinomas, CA epiglottis, CA larynx, and even CA esophagus and other various problems. So across India, if we label and identify, various numbers of different types of carcinoma are distributed in different states. Now, if we start speaking about the dosha involved for the manifestation of cancer or arbuda, always the primary dosha is kapha. Kleshmana neha kaఠిన్య kandushittatva gauravam banda ubalepa sainitya shofa apapti atinidrataha. In the initial phase, maybe in the pre-invasive stage, or in the stage 1, gradually the cells start getting mitotic division, extramitotic division, and what we call tatra vayu vibhajayati. Vata is the culprit, it goes on multiplying the tissues, hence the proliferation starts, and there will be hyperplastic tissues. So kapha followed by vata, and in between pitta interacts with vata, so that the area becomes hyperemic. Large number of blood vessels will be connecting, and there will be bleeding tendency in the form of a tumor. So for the manifestation of any malignancy, ultimately tridoshas are the culprits. All the vata, pitta and kapha will join together to to manifest an arbuda or granthi when the patient comes to a clinic. So that Sannipatuja Vikriti becomes Duschikitsya. Sannipatuja Duschikitsyanam Seta Karaka says it becomes very difficult to treat and proponent factor go on getting very bad and very bad, much bad. So all these cancerous issues depending upon the diagnosis and from the stage 1 to the stage of metastasis and other complications, they go on getting changed from the issue to the other problem. Brain. Sometimes a patient comes with history of CNS manifestations. For example, patient develops a history of severe headache. In Chandi Roga, projectile vomiting is one of the areas. Projectile vomiting. In Vataja Chandi, a patient is suffering with Tivra Shirashula and he will be producing a large noise. Suppose the patient is standing in the hospital wing for another almost half kilometer, the sound is getting heard. Projectile vomiting means from the standing posture for 1 or 2 meters, the emesis or the monitors is expected. Terrible headache, eructations, Udgara Pratiti, Sashabdayukta and Tanu, Drava, Vata Dravya is there. In condition of brain tumors, this is a very, very typical condition. Now, in Ayurveda, probably we have to intermingle various clinical situations and identify the problem. In increased intracranial pressure, secondary to tumors and space occupant lesions of the brain, Chatti or the emesis is one of the findings. Asadhya Chatti and Asadhya Hina has been spoken in the Shastra. Annaja, Yamala, Kshudra, Mahati and Gambhira Hikka. When we go to the Mahati and Gambhira Hikka, abdominal tumors with this history of hiccup comes. So hiccup in the sense continuous hiccup and uncontrollable hiccup with low kinds of swellings. What is seen in Gulma Roga like a Sannipatuja Gulma. Tatra Sayankale Jvaryate, Shofa, Pratiti, Karapara Shofa and Udaroseda. When the patient comes with the history of Udaroseda, Hikka, Chardi and Udgara Pratiti, then we have to suspect there is a space occupant at the level of the stomach. So CNS findings, followed by findings in the respiratory tract. If the lung parenchyma is involved, usually it is Shwasa, Kasa and Kapalisthevana, sometimes Raktasthevana. So hemoptysis, cough, breathlessness and very severe asthmatic episodes. The tracheobronchial tree is getting involved. The tumor will not allow for the air gas exchange and further there will be severe edema in the form of congestion of the lung, so that the lung becomes consolidated, fibrosed and that particular area is getting paralyzed or so that the lung is not going to work, particular lobe is not going to work. Lymph nodes, localized lymph nodes are enlarged because here again kapha is the factor, dukta kapha, lasika svato will be noticed. Rasasya, malakapha, lasikacha. So malakapha is going to get enlarged in the lasika samsthana and lymph glands are getting enlarged. Liver is another site wherein the hepatocellular parenchyma, the hepatocytes and hepatocellular canaliculi are getting congested and patient will produce jaundice in the form of after-acute jaundice. We see pre-hepatic, post-hepatic and hepatic issues. Post-hepatic jaundice usually comes secondary to the metastatic lesions. Further, the skeletal tissues like bones are involved with the Tivra, Veda, Toda, like pain, dragging pain and aching pain, etc. with fractures and osteoporosis. In that way, when we notice the normal tissue, the cancerous tissue, the hyperplastic tissue, and it is going to get go on getting extramedullary division will be able to see in the histopathological reports. So the TMM classification, everybody knows it, wherein the primary tumor or the T refers to the tumor, number of tumors, how much they are present, whether one solitary or multiple, and whether the area is getting metastasized, whether the stage is 4 or whether any spread of the cancer tissue is seen on the body with involvement of the lymph nodes should be identified. Children are not again away from the cancerous illness. Say childhood or in pediatric practice, cancerous patients are not available. Definitely in pediatric patients also, practice also, n number of patients used to come with the history of thalassemia-like findings, history of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, history of the leukemias. When we study non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, I remember few cases of the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, definitely they can be managed successfully according to Ayurveda line of treatment. When we address these patients, probably Tapyadiroha is one of the very, very important formulations. Tapyadiroha, which is advisable in Panduroga, the same Tapyadiroha is a very beautiful yoga in thromboembolic disorders like Pakshagata. The same Tapyadiroha is Lekana, Karshana and Vedohara, followed by other yogas like Guggudu Tiktaka Kashaya. Ashtanga Hridayakara Vagbeta explains Guggudu Tiktaka Kashaya with Guduchi Nimbamula Vishakmata Nidiktika Patora Patnamitte Panchatikta Mochate. And for the same Guggudu Tiktakam, when Chitraka, Guggudu and Bhallataka is added, Chitraka is one of the very, very interesting Deepana and Pachana Dravya. Acharya Charaka says there are 3 important anupanas for Chitraka. Number 1 is Gomutra. When Chitraka is given along with Gomutra, it is Chitragna and acting on the same. When the same Chitraka is given along with Takra, it is going to treat Grahani Roga, that is the bowel disorders, inflammatory bowel conditions. When the Chitraka is given along with Taila, Ashitir Vadavyadi Japohati, the series of Vadavyadis are treated and addressed. So with Anupana Vaishistya is having different actions on different srotamsi. Bhallataka, Acharya Sushruta says, Bhallatakani Tikshnani Vakini Agni Samanicha. Bhallataka is Tikshna, it is Kafagna. Vakini Agni Samanicha, and for agreeing any Agni Vyapara, Agni Vaiparitya, Bhallataka should be the masterpiece of Gritundi Vati and Bhallataka Asana. Recently, another patient from Chicago reported with the history of hepatocellular carcinoma, and our yoga advisor were Bhallataka Asana. Within few days, she started getting appetite. Probably the lymph nodes enlarged around the gallbladder were gradually subsiding. I don't want to say she is going to become 100% alright, but the symptom relief is noticed. And when she had been to the cancer center at the HCG, the oncologist was asking, had you been taking some other medicines? She told some Bhallataka like preparation I am taking. Can you show that? So, who has given it? One Vaidya has given it. That means Bhallataka Krishnani, Paki Agni Samanicha. On the Agni Vaiparitya, the Autogrimandya, metabolic syndrome, Pachakagrimandya, Ama, and even the Bhutapni, Mandavitaja, Amurpati, when the enzyme deficiency, Bhallataka should be the correct answer. Bhallatakani Tikshani, Paki Agni Samanicha, Kafajo, Nasarogo, Nakinchu, Bhallataka Samanicha. There is no vikara out of Kafa which is not addressed by Bhallataka. Hence, Bhallataka Vati, Bhallataka Asa, probably or is knowing in the market Bhallataka is not available. If some company to manufacture it, come forward to manufacture Bhallataka, definitely we are hateful. Definitely we are thankful to them. So that Bhallataka, Amrita Bhallataka Avaleha, Bhallataka Vati, and Bhallataka Kshirapaka, Bhallataka Rasayana Vidana, told by both Charaka and Sushruta. For any lymphadenitis, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and the deposition of cancerous mass over the other tissues in the metastatic state. But when we advise Bhalataka, we should be very, very careful. If there is Pitta association, probably our Bhalataka is not going to give that result. When there is association of Kapha and Vedas along with Kapha, definitely Bhalataka should be answered. Similarly, Chitraka with a different Anupana Vaishishya. So when we speak in the Ayurvedic language, whether it is Arbuda, Granthi as spoken earlier, whether any other conditions like Vranashofa or Thanika Shofa or Thanakiraka, Thanavidradi need to be addressed and explained. Tatra Pradeshe, Pachideva Dosha, Samurchita, Mamsamabhi Pradushya. Vrittam Stiram, Mahantam, Analpa Moolam, Chiravritti Apakam. Guruvanti, Mamsa Upachayam, Pushofam, Tamar Budam, Shapravido, Vadanti. So Arbuda Roga, Arbuda Akara, now Upamas or Sadrishya Suchakana. The nomenclature, the taxonomy of the DC has come with interpretation and comparison method. It appears just like a mountain, then Arbudakara, Arbuda. So in different sides of the body, maybe Antar Gulma and Vahya Gulma by Vagbata. Vagbata is, there is a Gulma, it may appear Abhyantara and Vahya. Charak always says, Gulma can be internal, only Mahasrota Anupravishya Purvanti Gulma. Similarly, the Arbuda can be at both sides, Abhyantara and Vahya. When there is Kapha involvement and lots of Kapha accumulation, Arbuda doesn't get any Vaka. When there is Pitta association, probably in the hyperemic stage with a severe bleeding tendency, then we can say it is the Pitta dosha that is involved with the Dushti. Dosha is always known for multiplication. Hence in the Vata Kalakali Adhyaya, there is no any Pitta Kalakali or Kapha Kalakali. Why only Vata Kalakali? Because Vata is the dominant dosha. Vata always carries other doshas. Hence, and by the end, at the level of the Stanasam and Vekta always Vata is contributing. Therefore, multiplication, mitotic division, the factor is always one. When we speak about the Vishama Jwara, Pavano Gati Vaishamyena Vishama Jwarotpadaka Karana. Because of the irregularity, because of the Gati Vaishamya and Chala Guna, always a patient comes with the history of relapsing fever in the form of Punaramrita Jwara or Vishama Jwara. Sometimes temperature increase, decrease, normalize, or within the abnormality there is fluctuations. So similarly here, Vata go on getting the division. It influences it, influence for the division of the cells. And how to manage? How to manage the Arbuda, Granthi and other conditions? That is why Shodhana Chikitsa. Shodhana Chikitsa in the form of Vamana, Mrudu Vamana, looking into the Bala of the Athura, Virechana. In the Virechana, whether it is Nitya Virechana, Punarapi Shodhana, or Punapuna Shodhana. So we have to select the correct letter here. For example, when we advocate the Shamula Panchakola Kumata, the Shamula Panchakola Trifala Tributtanti Kashayam. Very simple combination and most effective in the practice. The Shamula Panchakola Trifala Tributtanti. There is the Shamula, which is Kapagna and Shuddhahara. Tridosha Shamaka. Trifala is Anulomaka. Tribut, Virechaka. Danti, Vedani. The Shamula Panchakola is there in between, which is partial. When we combine and give this yoga along with Guda Gomutra Gupudi Yudaha, Guda Gomutra and Gupula Prakshepka Dravya, Shota Udara Nashaka. Short and Udara, in case of metastatic involvement of the liver with history of Kamala Roga, Kumbha Kamana, Jalodara, Nimittaja, other conditions with the Padashota, Mukhashota, etc. After to jaundice with the severe hepatocellular carcinoma like issues, the Shmula, Panchakola, Vata is a wonderful agent. It will allow the patient for Shodhana in the form of Mutra Virechana and Putra Virechana. Dashamula is Mutrala and Shotagrana. Tifala is Anulomaka already. Trivur Danti, one by one, Sukha Virechana and Tivra Virechana. And when Buddha Gomutra and Kukuru added, it is Sotoshita. Such a wonderful combination has been designed in a Shastra. And next, another yoga, what is called is Padona Muladi Kashaya. Padona Muladi Kashaya, what is the difference between Padona Katagoinadi and Padona Muladi? Padona Katagoinadi is usually Shamaka Yoga. What is usually advised in skin diseases like Tutta Roga, Padona Katagoini Chandana with these Shamana. When it is Padona Muladi, it is Vedaniya, just like Kaduki. Maladi Kamadam, Yadabaddamwa. When there is Sanchita Mala in the form of gallstones, obstructive lymph nodes, or the lymph glands are causing occlusive phenomenon across the sotams. Maladi Baddamma Yat Pindita Malai, when there is severe stagnation, Vitva the Pati, Tadvedan, Kadubiyata, Katabarohi, along with Patola, Muladikwata is a wonderful Vedaniya Mahakashaya. Acharya Charaka explains Vedani and Shotakra Mahapashaya in the Charak Sutra, chapter 4, that is Shadvijana Shatashiti. So Shodhana Chikissa is the form of Virechana, Mutra Virechana, and the combination should be in the form of Anulomana, Vedana, Samsana, and ultimately Virechana Kalpasa combined together and they are advocated. Similarly, you will get one more yoga like Kalashakali yoga in the Shastra. In the Shastra, there is one important yoga called as Kalashaka Patyama Aushadhi. Kalashaka is the Bargeria, Koyandi or the Muraya Koyandi, what is called as Kaidalia or Kadulimba, curry leaf. For our all Vyanjanas, for Palyam and Sambar, we use curry leaf. Kalashakam, Patya, Haritaki, and Mahoshan Shundi, Deepaniya and Pacha. Metabolic syndrome and any amount of Dhatukri and Bhutagri Bandhya is getting rectified with the Kalashaka Kashaya. So these, the Samula Panchakola Kashaya, Padola Muladi Kashaya, then the Shamaka, Kalashaka, Patyama Hanshadi, Hadita Kashaya, and also Nimbat Prabhad Kashaya from the Chikisa Manjari. Nimbat Prabhadi, which is usually advised in common and pond. Nimbat Prabhadi, two important ingredients are Dante and Dravanti. When you combine Dante and Dravanti, it becomes more and more drastic, purgative, by increasing the intestinal motility rate, just like Chavedi or Jalodara. So Nimbat Prabhadi Kashaya, like yoga, are needed for Shodhana. Whether Vasti is going to help the patient, if non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and intestinal tumors, definitely Shonita Stapana, Ganadravya Sadita, Niruha is one of the combinations. Acharya Charaka in the Sutra Sthana, 4th chapter, giving a list of 10 drugs like Dhataki, Lodra, Prem, Ananta, Sariva, Ushira, Katuvanga, as the beautiful Shonita Stapana Dravya, just like hemostatic agents. In cases of ulcerations, ulcerative colitis, patient comes in Pravahika Matakrita Sashuda, Pitta Sada, Sakafa Kafascha, Sashonita, Shonita Sambhavacha. A patient can report it, he can be reported with 4 different findings, with the terrible abdominal pain and frequent abdominal pain in the form of tenesmus in IBD. Pravahika Matakrita Sashuda, Pitta Sada, sometimes it is burning discomfort, Udada, proctitis. Sakafa. So there will be mucosal discharge and expulsion through the rectum, and epithelial debris is getting discharged along the stools. So Shonita Sambhavacha. And in case of IBD, colitis, and C of the large intestine and bowels, we will have to advise Bhakti with the Chonita Stapana, Ma Kashaya, Adita Niruha. There comes the selection of a Sneham Dravya. So always for Apana Vaikunya, the better Sneham suggestion is Sukumara and Sukumara Vrita. Sukumara. So there are different Sukumara kalpas like Sukumara Avreya, Sukumara Taila, Eranda Sukumara, Sukumara Grita, Sukumara Asava. Sukumara for Adona we told the Vada, always Sukumara is wonderful kalpana. When we combine along with the Yukti, now our purpose and aim is getting reached. So that Bhakti Kalpana in the management of marriages. Gulmanashaka Bhakti Yogas. In case of intestinal obstruction, always it is Hindu Tribuna Taila. And Vidradi, as said before, when we manage patients of CF breast, Carcinoma of breast, fibroadenoma of the breast, definitely we have to think about Stanakilaka, Stanavidradi, Stanashopa, Starbuda, and Granthis. Here comes application of Vamana Karma and also different Shamanaushadhi like Varunadi Kashaya. In the principal's chamber, the most experienced Vatapyadi Chikitsaka in our state, our Purasar was telling, I was giving Varunadi Kashaya Sadhita Niru to many patients of thromboembolic episodes of Pakshana. Varunadi is a wonderful yoga in the management of CA breast. Varunadi Ganam Vinihanti Gulma Antastavidradi Varunadi Gana Kapamedo Vinashaka. It is Kapanashaka and Vedoha. Gulma Antastavidradi Gulma Antarvidradi and Arbuda Granthi like a series of problems. It is Varunadi Gana of Sahasra Yoga. So Varunadi Gana Sadhita Niruha and Varunadi Gada Yoga is always a beautiful combination for any involvement of Kapha and Vedas and Mansa. Always when a kinetics teacher go to his class, taking Gulma Yoga as one of the syllabus points. Now students are bored. Sir, Gulma, where is Gulma? Can you show the bedside of Gulma? I say definitely Gulma can be shown in the outpatient department. Definitely, various of Gulma may be Vatika, Vaitika, Kapaja, Sannipatika, Dvanga Gulmas, and the last variety of Gulma is evident in the practice. Vritta, Chayapacheha, Sanchari, Yadivata, Parsha Punnabi Baste. If any 9 quadrants of the abdomen is spoken, because the imaginary line from the mid-quadrant line to the inguinal ring, and from the lateral left condyle to the right to left iliac crest, and similarly at the level of the T9, if any imaginary line is drawn and the 9 quadrants of the abdomen is explained in the clinical medicine. What about a BMS student? The 9 quadrants are spoken in Ayurveda. That is nothing but Varsha, Pranabi Vaseha, and Shula Roga. Gulma Roga and Shula Roga. Function Shula, Bhakti Shula, Ukshi Shula, and series of other Shula like Prut Shula, Kami Shula, and so on. So in these varieties of Gulma, when we move into the Sannipath Gulma, definitely the tumors and tuberculosis of the intestine and mesentery comes in. So that treatment of Gulma Roga in the immature state. Of course, Acharya, Susmita and Charaka, they opine differently. Gulma doesn't take in any patra. Jalaya Budbudakam Yatha. It is just like a water bubble and it is getting ruptured, it is getting varnished. Vata Gulma. Vata Gulma will disappear very easily. If you give some Agamoda, some Bhaskaravana, or some Hingutra Taila, or Hingwashtaka Churna, Pratama Kaula Bhuktam, Sarpisha, Jayet Shuna. Whether Shuna is getting treated. Vatano. When it is Vaitika Gulma, Madhyana Pukale, Tivra Shula, and patient gets terribly aching pain, he will be showing a point of tenderness, particularly in gastric ulcers. When the kapha gulma, thymic, sofa, and arochaka may be permitted dyspepsia. When the sannipata, there is vruta, chaya, apachaya, sanchari in the machala, it is an immobile tumor also. Then what is the treatment? Mainly the Paniya Ksharas are spoken. Paniya Kshara, especially the Kadali Kshara, Apamarga Kshara, and other Kshara Yogas, Kshara Gutika, and Kshara Krita Prayoga, and the because Kshara causing Patanomana, and they are Mutrana Vedani. When it is a Granthi and Shota, especially when we manage the CA breast patients, initially, because of the social customs, because the woman doesn't want to get exposed to the doctor and medical examination, usually she starts hiding. When it attains Vaka, when it starts producing symptoms like Ghanatva, Gurutva, Vaka, Jvaradi Lakshanas, she will report to the clinician with the history of all these findings. Then almost it may cross the stage of 2 or even 3. Punarnama is another very important drug. The patient comes with just a history of mastitis, accumulation and the irritation of the lacteals. There is a congestion. Then Punarnama the Lepa, Punarnamataka Kvata, and even Punarnama the Guguru, they are very wondrous and very effective. In the Garavisha Prakarana, regarding Dushi Vishari Agada, much has been spoken. Shirisham Madhuyashticha Tagashandanam Yela Mamti Nisha Yudmam Kushtam Balakamacha Kashyapena Kritam Agadam Pitva Sarvakrita Visham Hare. This Dashanga Agada and Dushi Vishari Agada in the management of mastitis and a localized swelling of the breast, they are very effective because the applications, Stanika Lepa, it is going to play a major role. Also the internal administration of these combinations. Usually, due to the Granthi, Arbuda, or any conditions like Stanika Sofa, and first and foremost the symptom observed is Agrimanya, metabolic event. Then always the great Triptikna Dravya, that is Shunti and Arbuda. And different combinations of the Shunti with the Buddha Shunti Prayoga, Buddha Prayoga, Buddha Hritiki Prayoga, Buddha Pippali Prayoga, and combination Shilajitu is done. So, the ulceration with the fungate cancer, how the purification is manifested, how it appears with the severe congestion. So the image of the shows. Of course, in the Shastra, regarding the Brahmat Upachara, Shodha Upachara, and Upachara by the Granthivata has been told. But what is actually done in the practice? Actually, it is Rasayana, Karshana, and Vedobra Aushadis. Prayoga. Shilajitu Prayoga. Among the Shilajitu Prayoga, always we have to administer Shiva Bhutika. Shiva Bhutika. So Shiva Bhutika, there are 2 aspects, Brahad Shiva Bhutika and Laghu Shiva Bhutika. One of the Shilajitu Kalpanas. When Shiva Bhutika is given, it has got various anupanas to advise. Number 1 is Anupana. Second is Madhu Anupana. Other anupanas like Trifarakpata. And even Shanasradi Jana Sadhita, Vata, etc. Anupana or Shiva Bhutika. This Shiva Bhutika is Granthi, Vedohara and Kafagrana. And in few areas, even Jalukavajan is also. CA esophagus, as said before, it is one of the very, very interesting areas. Definitely, by improving the nutrition of the patient, his life expectancy is prolonged. If a patient rightly comes to an Ayurveda OPD with history of CA2, esophagus, as explained, findings what is told in the Charaka Indriya, Kopit, Kantamahara, Jifwa Kantam, Upeticha, Ayushantam, Chagate Tasman, Balam Chaparihiyate, Gulmi cha Madumehi cha Vatavyaji cha Vanaraha, Asadhya Bhavetesham Balanamsa Parikshaya. Before the stage of 4, before the emancipation is noticed, if he reports, definitely by giving Rasayana and Brahmana Chikitsa, lots of symptom relief is observed. Number 1, yoga is always Nayopaya Kashaya. Why the name Nayopaya? In the practice, it is a new Upaya. Naya Upaya, Nayopaya. Very new Upaya. What is that Upaya? Parshva Shula Harim Kriya. When he comes with the tightness of chest, he is unable to breathe, and the Urasthanagata Sthanika Kapha, so there is Granthyothpatti. Sthanika Vata, Udanavata Dushti is taken place, and Pranavaya is not going to act properly. So, all these functions of Prana Udana is getting offered by the Dushta Kapha. Parsha Shuravat Upakrama, and what are the contents? Bala, Jiraka and Ajamana. Very simple. Only 3 ingredients are enough. Bala, Jiraka and Ajamana. And if Shundi is added, it is more wonderful. Nayopaya Kashaya and Bala, Jiraka and Kashaya. The 2 versions told in Sahasra Yoga to manage patients of CA esophagus, you will see wonders in the patients. When he comes to the outpatient department first week, and you observe the consecutive days, lots of changes will be manifested. Why? Because we actually targeting the Agni, Agni, Amatpati, and further we are helping the patient to have the swallowing properly. Annam Grunati, Pachati, Vivekati, Munchati, all these Samanavayu, Apanavayu, they are getting rectified once the Prana and Dhan is properly addressed. Naya Upaya, Nayopaya, Kashaya, Nayopaya, Dhanvantram Gutika or Mahadhanvantara Vati. For this Mahadhanvantara Vati, another name given is Garbharakshaka Gutika. Any patient with labor pain or a patient with recurrent abdominal pain, especially a female patient, and who is anxious to conceive. The best Vatanam of the Dravya, Yoga, is Mahadhanvantara Bhutika. The same is given in CA esophagus. Why? To have the Vatanam. Mahadhanvantara and Dhanvantara Yoga. In Dhanvantara, the peculiarity is Saindava. The most peculiar ingredient is Saindava, and Saindava is given. It is very Sukshma, Stotogami, and Vatanam. That is the beauty of Dhanvantara Yogas. Dhanvantara Taila, Dhanvantara Arishta, Dhanvantara Kashaya, Dhanvantara Grita, and Dhanvantara Bhutikas. Similarly, Mayura Chandrika Vastu. So we have designed a combination here. Very simple. For the practice, the best guideline, I tell you, Rasatantra Sarava Siddhi Prayoga Sanghya, volume 1 and 2. Even our Purasara is also making lots of combinations, and combinations. Rasatantra Sara and Siddha Prayoga Sanghya. Once you read and start analyzing and go on making the vikalpas, how? Mayura Pichapatma and Mayura Chandrika they vary. In Mayura Pichapatma, all the peacock feather is taken. Now, speakable Mayur Chandrika Vasma in a public is very. What happens is, our Mayura, peacock is the national bird. And if the national bird is killed, wild animal act you have to face. Of course, people sell it. Now, people prepare it, and one fine day will come, that is going to get banned. The situation is there for Ayurveda. It was there for 10 years. Our own system of medicine, just like peacock, suited history of Ayurveda. Now, getting punished by the current moment as well as the post-COVID scenario, we are able to get a lot of strength Ayush people. So this Mayura Chandrika Basma, Kamadula Rasa, Suta Shekhara Rasa, Shankha Basma, Pravana Basma, and ultimately Guduchi Basma. This combination is made in set proportion, given to the patient, the CA esophagus and CA stomach, with severe ulcerative dyspepsias and delayed gastric emptying. Delayed gastric emptying is a wonderful area again. Patient takes food and it doesn't go to the second part of the duodenum for further process. Further anterior propagation of food is not proper. By the stenosis or spasms or sankocha with the wine. So this combination, being it is Kshatriya and going to act on the acids, proteoic acid, oxygen, pepsin, acid pepsin, and other different secretions and enzymes, all the derivatives of Vachaka Pitta and other bhavas of Agni is getting nullified, so that the patient will have the appetite, his nourishment value is getting increased. Whenever we speak about any stomach issue, there is Kledam of Anna Sangata Kledam, the mucosal layer and submucosa, secreting lots of mucosal secretions. Neha, Kleda, and Anna Sangata Kledam. There is hydrochloric acid and other enzymes, Vachakagni and other Vyaparas. And gastric motility, why? Samana. When all these three doshas are acting together, so patient he becomes symptomatically all right. Nayopaya Vata, Kalajirakadi, and these combinations. Delayed gastric emptying is getting rectified. It goes to the second part. It goes to the intestine for the absorption. Ultimately, the nutrition is lost. Therefore, we have to look into the Pitta Gulma Prakarana. Tatra Dhanvantarina Adhikara Kriyavidu. Charaka says, a patient of Paitika Gulma comes with the terribly aching pain of the abdomen with severe irritation and burning discomfort. He will say, he will cry just like Tapta Angarva Pratiti. There is a burning charcoal inside my stomach. Doctor, pinky. He says. Then, Tapta Angarva Pratiti. Dhanvantarina Adhikara. Go to a surgeon. Kriyavido, who is good in operations. Surgeon, surgical qualifications with who is able to perform the laparotomy. And Vaidhyana, Krutayogyana, who is good in the subject, Krutayogyana, Yoga Sutriya training, intuition is qualified. Doctor, Krutayogyana, Vedana, Shodhana, Bhopani. Incision, post-operative, pre-operative, all measures he should be perfect. Intuitionally qualified Dhanvantari Sampradaya Vaidya with the authority to look after this case. So these combinations with the Nayopaya, Balajirakadi, and some Krita yogas like Pushpana Krita, and these Kshatriya yogas are doing wonders in case of CA esophagus like Carcinoma and Carcinoma. Therefore, always the guideline is partial. So Samruddha Karotyanam Gurudayanam Suchi Piriam Nistodha. He comes to see that. Doctor, I am unable to climb the staircase. Your hospital doesn't have any lift. This must complete. Your hospital doesn't have any lift. I will be sitting in my vehicle, you come and see. Okay, no problem. We have to give the service at the doorstep, no problem. Krichurotwasi, Tada, Naraha. Nanam Vanchati. No any appetite and ease. Annabilashi. No Nidram, Upetyapi. And severe sleep disturbance or insomnia. Atyartha Nipidika. And is disturbed totally. Vashashura, Savitya. Kapha, Anida, smooth power. Like treatment of Vashashura has to be adopted in these kinds of tumors, including the Pushkaramula yogas. Regarding Pushkaramula, lots of controversy is there. whether it's actual inhaler or samosa, or the pushkar available in the Lucknow and Varanasi area, pushkar available in Karnataka and other parts of southern India like Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Kerala. So lots of controversies there. However, pushkar mulasa and pushkar amrita like yoga. Pharyngeal cancer. Pharynx. CA pharynx. My relative, one of my grandfathers, he had a history of taking. Therefore, I told you, यथा मार्जारः तमाकुं न मुञ्चति तथा व्यसनी तमाकुं न त्यजति. And at the age of 82, he had some hoarseness of voice, difficulty in swallowing. Then I just completed post-graduation, and then in the year 1994 and 95, he called me, you will become my doctor because I have all these problems. Then he examined him thoroughly, so there was a localized swelling. We took a second opinion, and it must be too much. And he being a well-known practitioner of that area with the medicine, we had a thorough discussion. What he was telling me is on the PowerPoint. What we generally take is tobacco along with tambula. Yes. Tobacco, that is tambaku, tambula patra, muka, that is coconut, and a small amount of sunna, lime. So this is the combination in the village. They prepare it and they eat it, they enjoy. And probably in those days, incidence and mortality rate of CA larynx and CA pharynx were minimum, because their immune system were doing wonderful. And he developed this idea. Then when both of us we have been debating, immediately I had a flash. Yes, one prakarana called as Tambula Rasayana prakarana. For Tambaku, why our older people, our senior citizens, they are eating the tambula patra along with tambaku, sunna and kamuka. It's a combination, it's a formula. The toxic value of the tambaku is reduced by the Nagavali patra. The impression. Tambula rasayana was given to him. The first day he had severe giddiness, very strong. A small amount of tambula rasayana, let us start. And we could prolong his life for another 7 years. He lived almost up to 90 years from the age 82 when it was a case of CA larynx. Why means our ancient people, they knew very well, whenever there is a visha, there is a pratvisha. Whenever there is an aushadha, there is a pratyaushadha. And that was existing in the Dinacharya by them. Similarly, I had one more incident. I am telling you. A patient from Sikandrabad had come to me. I had been to a talk for there. An MBBS doctor had a terrible urticaria, very severe urticaria. Shita Pitta Udarana. Some home remedies, why can't you advise the doctor? Only home remedies. Then to an MBBS doctor, giving some treatment is also difficult. He's a practitioner. Okay, then in the nearest Ayurveda college, government college, I asked whether Shuddha Gairika is available in Swarna Gairika. Yes. Are you having the habit of eating the beetle leaf? Yes. Nagavali Patra, Swarna Gairika. Folded and given. Nothing but Lagu Sushekara. Lagu Sushekara, Nagavali Swarna Gairika. So in that way, this Tambula Rasayana is one of the very, very interesting preparations in the management of CA throat, larynx and pharyngeal carcinomas. Larynx, Swara Veda. During the COVID-19, we lost our famous singer, and many of us We are the followers of the music, singing everything. None other than our late Balasubramanian, S.P. Balasubramanian. He was tired due to all singing practice in the theatre, and was exposed for COVID and ultimately due to pneumonia and pneumonic consolidation followed by cardiac arrest. Passed away. Probably he lived today. He should have been the recipient of Bharat Ratna. Now these Swarvedas, spoken in the Rajeshma Prakarana, Sarveda Prakarana told separately as Tantra Adhikara with the Vataja, Pittaja, Kapaja, Kshayaja and Medoja Sarveda. In Vatadika Sarveda, of course, Karkasha and Hina Shabda, Kafadika Sarveda is Manda Shabda, Paitrika Sarveda is severe irritation and burning discomfort, Daha, and Kshayaja Sarveda, Kshina Swara, with history of all Shosha and Medojana Sarveda is a localized repository like Galaganda, Gandamala and the Tholi. These patients of Sarveda, they are usually given attachment and educated Kavala and Gandusha yogas. Kavala Gandusha yogas, especially Yastimo. Whenever we speak Kante Mahakashaya, the very content in the Karaka Sutra, 4th chapter, and the Kante Mahakashaya, Yastimo. Yastimadu is Swari and Kantya, Kantahita. Yastimadu, Yeladi Buddhika, next yogas. Lavanga the Vati, Talisa the Lehya, and Sitopala Asava. Sitopala, the yoga is connected to Asava. Sitopala Asava. These are the wonderful Swarakna, and to improve this Swara, laryngeal environment, recurrent laryngeal nerve palsies, vocal cord inflammations, and localized swellings and infections, including the tumors. Same line of treatment with Sarveda as well as Nasya Karma, Kavala Gandusha, and other yogas like Kasturi Bhaira Rasa and Mahalakshmi Vilasas. This Mahalakshmi Vilasasa, of course, there are different prananas, Naradiya, Mahalakshmi Vilasasa, Pratishayara, Kasakana, Prashara, and Rajesh Master. For the thyroid, hypothyroidism, why a patient has to take hydroxy? No, with the Mahalakshmi Vilasasa and Karpura the children, our patients are fine. The TSH value here in the Kapaja, Naratma Vikara, among the 20 types, Shofa, Tandra, Nidradikya, Gurugatrata, Arochaka, Vaiswarya, Kralasa, Praseka, all these findings are. And Karpura the children is the ultimate yoga. Similarly, in the laryngeal environment, these yogas, those are told in the Sarveda, are implemented. Galagraha, again the localized finding. Here the Gandusha yogas are advocated. Hepatocellular carcinomas. CA liver, definitely here the yoga like Patola Muladi, Dashamula Panchakola Kvata, and already explained Tapyadi Roha. Even the yoga like Mandura Vataka. So I am Manduro Vataka Namna. Mandura Vataka is a very important yoga in chakra in the Pandaroga Pratana. Praninam Pranadayaka Pranada iti katyate. It is Praninam Pranadayaka Pranada iti katyate. Pranam Dadaki iti Pranada. So the Jiva Rakta, which is getting reduced in the form of severe anemias, maybe the series of leukemias and other conditions with hepatocellular carcinoma, Mandura Vataka making wonders with the Sotoshoda, Gunadaram and Rasayana. Also think about the hospital of Yakratodara and yoga with Katakarohini, with the Vedaniya property, Kumari Asava, Kumari Swarasa, Nimbal Prabal Kashaya, etc. need to be advised. Involvement of the lungs with the history of cough, breathlessness, congestion, pneumonic consolidation, blood baptization, dry acclimatization and the severe congestive changes in the lung parenchyma. Always hear Samira Pannaga. Samira Pannaga and Malla Sindura, of course, the arsenic preparations are very dangerous. Now, when a condition like CA comes, when a patient can get all the adverse reactions of the radiotherapy, when a case can face all the side effects of the chemotherapy, what is the problem in advising Samira Pannaga and Malla Sindura? Both are arsenic preparations. Beyond any doubt, you can advise. And we have been seeing encouraging results by another very popular yoga, Vagottara Buddhika. Our Oman Pharmaceuticals, Dr. Srinivas Vadaya, has to be congratulated and complimented to Bhagotravati. Bhagotravati. The combination is very important and very interesting, and read it. Bhagotravati, one by one, the Bhaga or the ingredients are increasing. Bhagotravati. And this Bhagotravati is Chulunashaka and in parenchymal lung disorders. It is a Vishesha yoga, what we advocate with the lymphadenopathies. Shwasavatta Pakrama with Bharangyadi Kashayam. Bharangi. So this Bharangi, the Samola Bharangyadi and Bharangyadi Kashayam. Kshayakasana, if there is a bleeding tendency, then we have to go for Chandrakala Rasa, Pravada Panchamrita and the Raktastamaka yogas. Vamshavachana. Vamshavachana, getting Vamshavachana is again a problem now. In order to purchase 100 grams of Vamshavachana, we have to spend about 500 rupees. Very expensive. And whether it is going to be the true Vamshavachana or it is adulterated, God only knows. But basically, Vamshavachana Sadhita yoga and Vamshavachana, a single drug itself is very important, Sandhaniya and hemostatic. Prostatic carcinomas. All of a sudden, patient comes with severe bleeding problem. A male patient around the age of 60 or 60 plus with occasional dysuria, Mutra Krichana Lakshanas, occasional constipation where aparavaigunia is noticed, and incomplete evacuation of bladder, Krute Api Akruta Samjaka, Mutram to Bhakti Stodam, with these findings, frank bleeding problem. If it is the case, then we have to think there is involvement of MPH, malignant prostate hypertrophy and hyperplastic conditions. Tumors, CA, prostate. Dalana explains a condition called Rakta Granthi in Mutrapatha. In the Mutrapatha, Rakta Granthi will lead to severe Raktasrava from the Mutrapatha, Mutraseka. With these conditions, what can be done? So definitely it is Puga Kashaya. Puga being a Kashaya, Satmaka, Sangraka Dravya, astringent, highly Sangraka. Why Prameya? Puga yogas are given, Kramuka and Kodrava. The reason is, due to its Kashaya Guna, it is going to dry the Tedamsha. Similarly, it is an important hemostatic. Puga Kashaya and Puga Panak. Rodrasana, Chandrakarasa, and Pravada, Basma and Pravada, Panchamrita. We have to look into the line of treatment of Mutragata. Always facilitate Vata Anulomana and Shiva Bhutika, Chandra Prabhavati. Usually a student will ask, Sir, you have given Chandra Prabhavati in which there is a Prabhuta Avila Putrata. The same Chandra Prabhavati you are going to give in urinary infection and Putra Pata comes, and another patient of renal failure, again Chandra Prabha. Why? For the Tridosha Samya, when there is Kshaya, Chandra Prabha is a very important yoga. When there is Vriddhi, you give Chandraprabha. When there is Kshaya, you give Chandraprabha. In both conditions, is going to make the balance. Samudaya Prabhava, property. Similarly, when a patient of Atyartava comes, Ashokarishta. Anartava comes, Ashokarishta. And a student of PTS posted in Prasuti and Siroga, Madam, we have written Ashokarishta for Anartava. Another patient of Atyartava, Ashokarishta, why? Tridoshana. Similarly, the Shiva Bhutika, like yogas, and given in Pradhya and Kshaya, both of the occasions. Shilaj, always in Mutra Pata, Shilajit Rasayana and Shilajit Kalpas are number one combinations. Again for Shilajitu, some Patya Vishayas and Anupana Vaishishya is there, like Triphalapata, Gomutra, and Asanadipata, Godukta, and so on. Chitraka, so regarding Chitraka and its Mahatva, Anupana Vaishishya, Gomutra, Tilataila, and Takra. Various conditions. Ultimately, for Bhallataka, it is unparalleled in non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I remember a patient with HIV type 1 to 2. Type 1 to HIV with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, horrible condition. And both of the husband and wife were positive for HIV cases. Husband was known for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma diagnosed case. Don't want to go for any cancer centers. So Bhallataka could prolong their life. Even today he is living, have his children educated. Another patient came. He told, Doctor, my daughter is studying for 4th standard. I am HIV positive with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Because when they come to our OPD, all the diagnosis is made, our exercise is already over. All reports will be there, CT scan, MRI, color Doppler, USG, biochemical, serological, hematological, whatever, everything is done. Don't spend any single NP for investigation. Let us treat. So that fellow told, my daughter is in 4th standard. I want to see that my daughter should pass 10th standard. Then if I die, I will go to Swarga. Fine. Treatment started. Years spent. She completed 10th. Then she joined college for PU, completed. She joined for degree, completed. Then got married, got grandchildren, poor. He still is alive from the year 1996 onwards. Very happily. Got rated from electricity company. That means to say, all this HIV type 1, 2 cannot be reversed back. Only the quality of the life has to be improved by the Rasayana and motivation. Sattva and motivation should be the correct answer to the patient. So Bhallataka and Kishta Samanicha Na Kavajo Sarogo and Kinchit Bhallataka Samha. And Vibando Asti Kashchana, any Avaroda, any kind of Kavajashota and Vidradi, Granthi, Amrita Bhallataka Kshirapaka, Bhallataka Vardhamana Bhallataka, Vidanas. One particular Siddha system of medicine. Siddha system of medicine. Ayurveda, Rasashastra, Indian alchemy. And Siddha system, their own medicine. Rasa Gandhi, Veda. Rasa, that is mercury. Gandhi, Gandhaka. Kajjali Kalpa, not the Kajjali Kalpas. Very, very important preparation in the cancer management. And other important nutritive rasayanas. Our beloved sir has written a book, Nutrition and Rasayana. Rasayana and nutraceuticals. Today, if there is any reference book for any student of BAMS for 10 mark question, explain Rasayana and nutraceuticals. Any PG student of Panchakam, Rasayana and nutraceutical. Our beloved sir's book is guideline. So, Amanaki Rasayana, Pradhamana Pippali Rasayana, Kamabhutya, Rashamahumva, Dasha, Vaiparikam Srutam. And योजयित्वा तथैव अपनयत् पुनः all increasing आरोहण क्रमः so आरोहण and आरोहण विधान शिवागुटिका शिलांकल्प etc. With these findings, the management of cancer and for any illness, the basic theory of Ayurveda should not be forgotten. What is the environment of the dosha and what is the dhatu level? How about the role of and samprapti and the role of kriya kala? How to reverse the samprapti and where exactly the lakshanika chikitsa can be incorporated and educated. So with these deliberations, many Ayurveda practitioners across the country, many practitioners with the folk medicine, the single drug therapy in Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Science. Last month, I was chairing a session for an advanced research project. One of the teachers from Ayurveda fraternity, she was an head of the department of a department from a college, private college, and her concepts were wonderful. For cancer lining, in vitro and in vivo studies for the design, the tribal medicine, single drug therapy in 3 different groups were planned, and on the spot we have approved the study. Why? Because this is the burning area where exactly lot of our manpower is getting wasted in cancer management. So with these deliberations, I congratulate and compliment our Umesh Professor and his team for organizing a lecture series CME on Onco Veda, on the Vedic science and cancer. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. U.B. Pural sir, Gadwadi sir and S.K. Hemant sir to felicitate Dr. Prashant sir. Second oral paper presentation sessions. The participants are Dr. Sudha, Dr. Ashwini Sajanar, Dr. Aishwarya Ajit, Dr. Aisha, Dr. Harshita, Dr. Nikhil, Dr. Mallikarjun and Dr. Bhaskar. Now I request Dr. S.K. Hemant sir, Professor at HOD Department of Dravya to be the chairperson. I request Dr. Shadu sir, Professor and HOD Department of Shalakya Tantra to be the co-chairperson, and I request Dr. sir to present copy to Vijay Shadu sir. I request Dr. Kumar Kandivat sir to present bouquet to Dr. S.K. Hemant sir. The first presenter is Dr. Vasudha. The second presenter is Dr. Ashwini Sajjanarma.
Today I will be dealing with the scope of Rasayana in the integrative oncology review guided by Dr. Prashant Ayush sir. These are the contents of my topic. I will see one by one. First, it is introduction to the cancer and Rasayana. As we all know that it is the most dreadful disease affecting mankind. It is the second most largest non-communicable disease after the ischemic heart disease. Cancer, definition of cancer, it goes like it is irregular growth of the cells, it having the properties of the invade or spread to the different parts. Rasayana, that is rasa means rasavi dhatus and ayana means Rugi, the drugs which helpful to the increases the rasavi dhatus are called as rasayana. Action of the rasayana drugs, like it will mainly act on the agni, srotas and the rasa. Now, by practically we can classify these rasayana into three types, that is preventive rasayana, promotive rasayana and curative rasayana. In preventive rasayana, we can give in the patient to the genetic and the environmental factors by agestic rasayana, achar rasayana, agestic rasayana. These are the rasayanas we can take along with the day-to-day activities like the gupta or the milk. Here we can consider like anti-cancerous drugs like the haritra, lashuna, shunti, etc. Promotive rasayanas like the kamya rasayana. Here we can take as the occupational hazards which may lead to the different types of cancer. In that we can use the kamya rasayana. In the patients which is having the exposure to the different industries or having the habits of the smoking or the tobacco chewing, there we can give the kamya rasayana. For example, in respiratory system, you can use the Chyawanprash rasayana or the Pippali Vardhaman rasayana. In curative rasayana, we can use the Remitica rasayanas. Remitica rasayanas are the rasayanas which are given after the completion of the VAIBHAV treatment to maintain the balya and the dhatu samyasta. Here we can give with the different respective system wise, like the respiratory system, we can use the Vardhaman Pippali rasayana, Chyawanprash rasayana. In genitourinary systems like the Ashwagandha, in GIT like the Narsim rasayana, Amlik rasayana, in CVS like the Mandur Vataka and different Loha Kalpas. For example, in genitourinary system, Ashwagandha rasayana, in breast cancer, it will as the Ashwagandha, after the radiation therapy, as the Ashwagandha is having the balya and vajikaran property, it will decrease the emaciation induced due to the radiation, and also it will decrease the radiation induced the increased serum level of GDP. Radioprotective drugs After the radiation, these are the some conditions can occur into the patient. So we can use the different rasayana to protect that, like a free radical scavenging. For example, Triphala, Chyawanprash and Brahma rasayana. Free radical scavenging, it will increases the enhanced treatment by the scavenging the different free radicals and the antioxidants. For example, in Triphala and Chyawanprash having the nitric oxide scavenging property, increasing in the antioxidant enzymes, it will these are acts against the antioxidant stress enzymes and anti-mutagenic activities like the Chyawanprash. In the chain smoker or the bidi smoker, we can give this Chyawanprash to maintain the genotoxic effect which will occur due to intake of that tobacco. Inhibition of lipid peroxidation, here we can give the Triphala, Rasayana and Brahmi Rasayana. Hemopoietic stimulation like the Triphala, Brahmi Rasayana, Narsim Rasayana and Ashwagandha Rasayana. Hemopoietic stimulation, these rasana will act against the cytoplasmic effect of the anti-cancerous drug, and immunomodulations like the Amlaki Rasayana and Ashwagandha Rasayana. These are some anti-cancerous drugs we can use with the different combinations like the Lashuna, Shirisha, Haridra, Devadaru, Rohitaka, Duptika, Kumari, Saptaparna, etc. These are the some research work which have done in our colleges, mainly concluding the Rasa Shastra. This is the conclusion. Rasayana is associated with the multifactorial role due to its preventive, promotive and curative approach against the cancer. It is used to protect the physiological and maintain the structural and functional integrity at the molecular level. Awareness in the population regarding Ayurvedic modalities for the cancer. Together it is possible. It is one of the slogans given for the Cancer Day. Here we can conclude it like by combining the different modalities. These are the references. Thank you.
I request the chairperson to offer the flower to the presenter. Next, I request Dr. Ashwini Sajjanath to do next presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Today I am going to present on the clinical approach to the relevance of Pathya in cancer. Myself, Dr. Ashwini, pursuing PhD under the guidance of Dr. Ayush sir, and currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Kaya Chikitsa, AVS, Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Vijayapur. So in present scenario, as the WHO organization has reported, so it is quoted that cancer is the most common leading cause for the death. So among overall the global population, 10 million death is noted because of cancer. So in that, breast CA is most common cause, and second leading causes are lung cancer and others. So here breast CA is more common cause for the death. So that is new cases of 2.26 million cases were noted, and the other 2.21 million cases were noted under the category of lung cancers and others. So with this brief introduction, I am going to present regarding the importance of management of the cancer through the Ayurvedic management. So in this present scenario, Ayurveda is having many ways and to treat the chronic disorders, which is including social and psychological problems. So chronic cases will be managed by the only Ayurvedic management. So rather going for the curative therapy, it is better to go for the preventive therapy of the chronic diseases. So this is my motto of the presentation. So we'll move on to what is cancer. So cancer is caused by the changes to the DNA within cells, and DNA damage may be inherited from parents or may be spontaneous problem that occurs during the lifetime of a person. So it is a process of proliferation, transformation of the dysregulation of the apoptosis and the aggravation of the cancerous cells. So that is this process is called as a carcinoma. And what is Arbuda according to Ayurveda? So from the morning we are listening the concepts regarding the Arbuda by the eminent speakers. So it is shortly explained that Shushruta explained in Nidhanasthana 11th chapter. It can be correlated as a neoplasm, irregular mass, chronic progressive fixed mass, tend to bleed, and anemia and metastasis. So cancer is not related to particular system. It can cause anywhere in the body. So this is the protocol of naming the cancer. So according to Charaka Sutrasthana 18th chapter, it is explained as it is a swelling having uniformity and based on the location. So here in the diagrammatic representation, it is concluded that the asadhya raktasha can be taken as a anal carcinoma, and asadhya abhyantara arsha can be considered as a rectal carcinoma. Asadhya gulma is GIT malignancies, and hematological malignancies can be considered under the heading of Granthi Visarpa. So how cancer manifests? So it is any dosha can initiate at any part of the body, and that initiates mainly Rakta and Mamsa, that is Mamsa Sruk Pradushya. So it produces swelling like Mamsa Pinda, that is Vritta Stira Mandaruja Deep Mahanta, that is deep seated. So that will be cause the Arbuda. And based on the location, causative factors, and the dosha involved, so the diagnosis can be made, and similarly the treatment protocol will be planned. So this is the treatment methodology which is explained in the Yoga Ratnakara Arbuda Chikitsa. So the first, the broad classification of the treatment we can follow here: Shamana, Brahmana and Rasayana. So always the Shamana medication, Shodhana is again depends upon the Rogi Bala. So it is explained Purana Bruta. So it is the Patya and Apatya is mentioned by the Yoga Ratnakara, which is given in all types of malignancies. So Yava, Kashaya, Madhura, Shita, so this is indicated in all types of malignancies. Yava is again the Hodium vulgare, so it is rich in the saporenin and the bioflavonoids, so it gives anti-cancerous activity to the body. And GIT malignancy, the Mudga, Rusha, Lagu, Grahi, Kapha, Pitta, Hara, Ahara Vihara is mentioned. And Caravella, it is rich in vitamin A, and it acts as a antifungal, anti-inflammatory and anti-cancerous activity. So it is mainly given in the hepatocellular carcinoma. And Patola, it is advised in the bronchogenic carcinoma. And Drugdam Shira Payastanya, Bala Jeevanam Ityarpi, Dugdam Samaduram Snigdam. So this type of patya is explained in all types of malignancy. So this is based on Vyadhi Swabhava, what not to be done. This is also explained in classics. To sum up, Shamana, Rasayana, Brahmana and psychological interventions, nutritional diet plans forms a complete treatment protocol for the Arbuda. Thank you.
Next, I request Dr. Aishwarya Ayurvedic for the next presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Aishwarya from second year PG Scholar, Department of Dravya Guna, here to put forward my views on the herbs beneficial in Arbuda and their probable mode of action. So the content, these are the contents I'll be dealing with. So to introduce the Arbuda is correlated to cancer in modern science, and it is the second leading cause of death globally. So it's one of the dreadful diseases. Arbuda is defined as Gata Pradeshe Kvachit Devam Doshaha Samuchitaha Mamsapi Pradushya Pruttam Sthiram Mandarujam Mahan Na Alpam Moolam Chiravrityam Apakam Kurvanti Mansopachayam to Shofa Tamarbudam Shastavidam Avadanti by Shushruta and Nidhanasthana 11th chapter 13th shloka. He also gives 6 varieties of Arbuda and claims karma as the main cause for Arbuda, and the other risk factors are aging, tobacco, alcohol, exposure to sun, radiation or chemicals, family history, influence of carcinogens. to say about the Samprapti Nidhana Sevana, which leads to Agnimadya, and Agnimadya will do Dosha Prakopa, which in turn does Shroto Dushti in terms of Sangha and Vimargagamana, and thus Vaikunya takes place and Arbuda will be produced. So these are the herbs that can be used beneficial in Arbuda, which can be used in different dosage forms and in different conditions, maybe preventive aspect, curative, or as rasayana, or even in the symptomatic treatment. A few examples are Shruti, Gugulu, Chitraka, Bringaraja, Ativishwa, Vidanga, Haridra, Kanchanara, Arka, Himba, Ashwagandha, Shatavari, Punarnava, Kalamega, Upodika, and a few other like Lashuna, Trifala, Trikatu, Lakshmi Taru, etc. So this chart deals about the rasa panchakas and the active principles these drugs deal with. So we can appreciate that most of the drugs here are katurasa, piktarasa, lagu, tiksha, ushna virya dravyas. So from these property we manage to say the probable mode of action. That is, katurasa has properties like agni dipaka, which helps in increasing the agni, and in turn does amapachana, mansa vilikriti, which means scraping action to reduce the size of the tumor. Margava Shodhana, because there is a Dushti and Vaikunya, it does Marga Shodhana, and Kapahara to reduce the size of the size of the tumor, and also has gunas like Lagu, Ushna and Vruksha. Similarly, Piktarasa, it does Deepana Pachana, Lekhana of Mamsa and Medha, it does Roshana of Veda and Medha, it's Pitta and Kapha and also has gunas like Lagu and Vruksha. Similarly, Ushna Virya, which does Pachana, Ashupaki, it's Vata and Kapahara. So being Vatahara, it stops or reduces the proliferation of the cells, multiplication of the cells, and Ushna Virya, which liquefies the doshas accumulated in the shrotas, and therefore it can be cytotoxic and anti-metastasis activity. Similarly, Tikshna Guna, which is Kapahara, Dhatu Kshayakara, Pakakara, and it has Lekana Karma. The Tikshna Guna penetrates into the shrotasis and expels the doshas and malas which is accumulated, therefore it can act as cytotoxic. Lagu Guna, which is Kapahara, Megha Dhatu Kshayakara, Lekhana and Shigra Baki, hence it does a regression or shrinks the mass of the tumor. And the Ruksha Guna, Kapahara, it's Kapahara, Dhatu Kshayakara, Kleta Shoshaka, hence it dries up the Mamsa and Medha which is involved in the Arbuda, and hence there is a decrease in the tumor. To conclude with, we can say that medicinal therapies can be used in Arbuda for initial stage and preventive aspects. The drug as possessing gunas like Tikshna, Lagu, Ruksha and Ushna Virya, Katutikta rasas can be used in preventive, curative, as rasayanas, and also in the symptomatic treatment. Thank you.
I request chairperson to offer the flower to the president. Now I request Dr. Ayush to come on the line for the next presentation.
Good evening to everyone. Myself Dr. Ayush, and I am the first year PG scholar of the Rashtrastra and Vaishya department. Today I am going to present about the concept of Stana Arbuda. These are the contents and the introduction. Mainly the breast cancer is seen number one among all the other cancers which women are suffering. Most common age group is 50 years or older than them. Definition of Arbuda, standard definition is Gatra Pradesha Pachideva Dosha. That is, doshas will accumulate at any one part of the body. That is, it is the damage of the muscular connective tissue or epithelial tissue. Vrittam Stiram Mandarujam. That is the growth will be stony, hard and round in nature. Mandaruja, that is a mild pain or absence of the pain will be there. At the last stage we can see the pain. Mahantam Anarpamulam, that is it is having the deep root. Chirabuddham, it is a chronic in nature. Apagam, that is non-suppurative in nature. Kurvanti Mamsopachayam, Tushofam, it is an uncontrolled abnormal growth of the tissue in the body is nothing but the Arbuda. So it is nothing but cancer. Arbuda types are Vataja, Pittaja, Kaphaja, Raktaja, Mamsaja and Medaja Arbuda. Breast cancer types, especially I have taken mainly 4 types. Ductal carcinoma, that is 85 to 90% of the patients are suffering with the ductal carcinoma. Lobular carcinoma, above 8% of the patients are suffering with the lobular carcinoma that is present in the lobes. Second most common is invasive breast carcinoma, that is spreads from original site to the other parts of the body is nothing but the invasive breast carcinoma. Inflammatory breast carcinoma, it is the least common but most aggressive in nature. That is, it starts in the soft tissue of the breast just under the skin or on the skin. Risk factors are genetics, in particular mutation of the tumor suppressor gene that is BRCA1 and 2 or mutation in P53 genes. Prolonged exposure to estrogen, nulliparity, menarche, menopause, obesity, use of HRT that all use. And it is a self-assessment for the breast in the woman. And it is a picture of a dimpling of the breast, you can see. Next, Samprakti. Mandani plus Vata Kapha Pradhana Tridoshaka Nidana leads to excess Kapha Vata Druti, leads to Vata Drusti, which result into the Kapha Pradhana Tridosha into external channels of the breast obstructed, which leads to the vitiation of a Rakta Mamsa Meda of the breast, leads to the produce of a Vritta and the Katina Shota is nothing but the Granthi or Arbuda. These are the Samprakti Gatakas. And the symptoms. Usually it is asymptomatic, but according to Charaka, he mentioned it under the Shota only. That is Ekadesha, lump in the breast or axillary region. Next, Bruna and Paka are seen only in the latter stage. Nipple changes like a bloody discharge or watery discharge, retraction of the nipple or inversion of the nipple can be seen. Next, change in the breast side, that is inflammation can be seen, or the skin changes of the breast, that is like a orange peel-like skin can be seen in the breast. And these are the pictures I have given for the example. Next, investigation, that is mainly biopsy, core biopsy and fine needle biopsy. Core biopsy is nothing but for the complete histology, and it is the sample biopsy report I have given. And fine needle aspiration, it is for the kit assessment. Imaging technique for the knowing the stage of the breast cancer can see it. Next, bone scan, chest X-ray, ACT scanning can be done. Modern treatment mainly surgery is there, that is wide local excision or mastectomy. Next, radiotherapy, lifestyle advice, cytotoxic therapy, etc. can be given. Samanya Chikitsa of Ayurveda in Ayurveda, that is Upanaha with the drugs which are having the dosha samagunas, and the Raktavasechana, Vamana Vivechana, Lekana, Shastrakarma, Agni Karma, Bruna Chikitsa if the guna is present. And especially these all are done only depending on the bala of the patient. Treatment according to different acharyas. Chakradatta has said Nishpavadi Lepa, Shastradi Kriya, Upodika Upanaha, Arbudahara Lepa. Rasendra Chintamani has said Raudrarasa for Lehana Karma, Lepana Karma, Tarakadivati and Marishanda Ksharavati. Next, other references like Kanchanara Guru, Shiva Buddhika. In severe pain and inflammation of the breast, we can give the Manjista and the Chandanadi Lepa. And for the prevention of the reoccurrence and complications, Vajrabhasma 1 Rati plus Shirajatu Samishita Ashwagandha Churna, Nitya Sevana for 3 to 9 months we can given. For all pain relief, we can use the all Gugulu preparations and Swedana is the best. For reoccurrent infections, because immunity will be reduced in the patient, Gandhaka Rasayana and Mahalakshmi Virasa Rasa can be given. Other references like nausea and vomiting, if there, we can use the Sudashekara Rasa and Shatavari. And loose motions, if it is there because of the chemoradiotherapy, we can give the Bilva, Putaja, etc. And these are the rasayanas which we give. And effect of rasana is the genesis of the proper rasati dhatus, immunomodulator, and acts as a physical and mental health. These are Upashaya and Anupushayas. And the conclusion is mainly to Ayurveda treatment is mainly given for the immunity, improve the immunity of the patient, improve the quality of the life and poor tolerance to the surgery. For the effect of that, it can be given. And thank you.
I request chairperson to offer the flower to the president. for the next presentation.
Myself Harshita, final year UG scholar from SJG College, Mumbai. My guide is Dr. Louis Kalal, Department of Shalya Tantra, Assistant Professor. My topic is concept of cancer in Ayurveda. The knowledge and management of disease of cancer was not unknown to Acharyas of India. Though Sanskrit equivalent is not found in our Samhitas, but similar signs and symptoms diseases with malignant conditions are discussed in various contexts. The present paper will try to interpret the modern system of possible interpretation in modern system of medicine. Introduction. Cancer is one of the most dreadful diseases with increasing incidence in 21st century. Identification and differentiation of malignant diseases have been described in our Samhitas also. Sushruta in Sutrasthana 21st chapter Prana Prashniya Adhyaya, he has explained that the incidence of prana in terms of dosha vitiation. Prana in modern parallel can be considered as inflammatory process that may lead to ulceration and chronic inflammation that indicates all stages of the carcinogenesis. Ayurveda has been successful from very early times in preventing and suppressing various kinds of diseases using various kinds of treatment. The word cancer is derived from the Greek word crab. It was used for a long time. Later, technical term cancer came for eroding ulcers. This earliest reference of cancer we can find in Ayurveda, which was named as Apachi. Later, Sushruta he categorized swellings and lumps under the heading of Arbuda, where non-healing ulcers as Asadya Prana. Classification can be done under the three labels. It can be labeled as clear malignancy, considered as malignancy, presenting symptoms similar to the malignancy. Diseases which can be labeled as clear malignancy are Arbuda and Asadya Prana. Firstly, Arbuda, it is a lump or a mass. Sushruta described this as Vrittam Stiram Mandalujam, Mahantam Analpamulam, Chirabruddhi Pakam, Kurvanti Mamsopachayam Tu Shokam, Tamarbudam Shastravido Vadanti. And it is due to vitiation of all the three doshas. This is general pathogenesis of cancer. On this Nidana Sevana, there will be sanchaya of doshas, impairment of Agni and formation of Ama, exhalation of dosha, then prasara of the doshas. This will lead to the impairment of the body channels, that is Srotas, then Sthana Samshraya in various tissues, leading to the manifestation of the disease cancer. Later it will lead to complication, that is metastasis and incurability. This is the classification of Arbuda. According to dosha, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Tridosha, this means that our acharyas
told that all the doshas are involved in the formation of derangement in malignancy. Next, Dhatuja. Dhatuja is Medaja, Mansaja, Raktaja. This indicates decades of centuries ago only. Acharyas had knowledge that cancer is involving Dhatus also. Next, it can occur in different sites also, like Vatma, Karna, Nasa, Talu, Osha, Gala, Muka, Sira. On the prognosis, Sadhya and Asadhya. Sadhya are benign cysts and Asadhya are Mamsaja, Tridoshaja. Next, the recurrence and metastasis. As the time passes, Asadhya Arbuda may develop into Asadhya. Asadhya Prana. Asadhya Prana, Sushruta explained it has multiple firm fleshy masses with various discharges. These are the general symptoms. These are another two classifications which can be considered as malignancy. Those are Mamsa Devosha, Alasa, Mamsa Kachapa, Galota, Asadhya Galaganda, Tridosha Jagurma, Asadhya Udara, Lingarsha. Where malignancy can't be ruled out, these are few of them. Those are Tridosha Janari Prana, Asadhya Pradara, Asadhya Kamala, Charmakila. And general treatment are Prakriti Stapana, that is maintenance of the health, Roganashini Chikitsa or Atrasin Roganut, that is curing of the disease, Rasayana Chikitsa, rejuvenating doshas, Naistika Chikitsa, it can be spiritual approach. All these together may act as anti-cancerous effect. Discussion. Modern system of medicine involves typical administration of therapeutic agents that lack specific target, leading to the adverse effect. Ayurvedic system involves administration of plant extract. Those will diminish this side effect. Conclusion. The clinical efficiency and toxicity of numerous anti-cancerous drugs is still unknown and uncertain. Research on these drugs is still in preclinical phase, and it should be actively pursued. Further research it will help us for the safe identification and effectiveness of the anti-cancerous drugs and their mode of action. The challenge put before us, all of us, to move forward carefully using reasoning and wisdom to treat the malignancy. Reference Sushruta Samhita, research article from Ancient Science Life. Thank you.
I request chairperson to offer the flower to the presenter. Next, Dr. Nikhil, I request him to come on the dais to the next presenter.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Nikhil, from first year PG scholar in the department of Shalyatantra from FJJ and Koppal. These are all my friends. Introduction. Nirukti and Paribhasha of Granthi. Granthanada Granthitaha. The term Granthi denotes noted. Brito Unnatam Vigrathitam tu Shokam Kurvantyato Granthi Riti Pradishtaha. The one which is round, bulged and hard to touch is called as Granthi. Koshavat Granthi. Granthi is encapsulated. Nirukti and Paribhasha of Arbuda. The word Arbuda is derived from the root Arva means that which hurts or kills. Arbudo Shatakautisho. It also denotes count of hundreds and crores. Britam Stiram Mandarujam Mahantam Analpa Moolam Chiravrita Apakam. The swelling which is round, immovable, associated with mild pain, big in size, deeply rooted, growing slowly and not ripening is called as Arbuda. Samprapti Ghataka. Dosha, Kapha predominant, Tridoshika Vyadi. Dushya, Mamsa is principal Dushya. Agni Dhatu, Agni Mandyata. Srotas invoked are Rasava, Raktava, Mamsa, Medavaha. Srota Dushti, Srota Sangha, Ati Prakriti. Rogamarval will be Abhyantra Rogamarga. Svava will be Chirkari. Sadhya Satyata, it may be Sadhya or Veda. According to Dosha, Arbuda. Kapaja, Vataja, Pittaja, Tridoshaja, Arbuda. According to Dhatu, Raktaja, Arbuda, Mamsaja, Arbuda, Medaja, Arbuda. According to Sthana, वर्तमार्बुदा, कर्णार्बुदा, नासार्बुदा, तालुवर्बुदा, ओष्ठार्बुदा, गलार्बुदा, मुखार्बुदा, शिरार्बुदा आदि अस्ति। ग्रंथि दो बाधज पित्तज and कफज। लक्षण वातज अर्बुदा। In वातज अर्बुदा, pricking, cutting and expanding and hitting type of pain will be there. It is having black color, hard and large, and the bladder like shape. When pricked, it excludes clear blood. In Pitta Arbuda, there will be a severe burning sensation, very warm, sucking and of being burnt by fire. It is red and slightly yellowish, and when pricked, exudes warm blood in large quantity. In Kapaja Arbuda, it will be cold to touch, no discoloration, mild pain will be there, severe itching, grown like a stone, grows slowly, and when pricked, exudes white thick pus. Chikitsa Sutra. In Vadaja Arbuda, first fermentation with potli should be done with Karkarka, Avarka, Narikela, Priyala, Panchamula. Similarly with Mamsa and Vaishnava. Then Nadi Sveda and with Nadi Sveda should be done. Remove more blood using Nadi Shringa. Then patient should be given Sneha, 3 Sneha food 100 times to steady option of Vata mitigating drugs and with milk and Soviraka. Pittaya Arbuda. First Sveda should be done with warm potli. Mandana Virajana should be given. Then tumor should be rubbed with Patra of Kudumbara, Shaka and Gojiva, and then fine paste of Sarja Rasat Nehamu, Patanga, Rodra, Anjana, Yashtika, Argavada, Soma and Shyama mixed with honey should be applied. Then patient is made to drink medicated Veda prepared with the juice of Shyama, Shweta, Shanda, Anjanika, Draksha and Yavatikta added with paste of Yashima. Kapaja Arbuda, Snehna, Swedna followed by Vamna and Preshna, then Rakta Mukshna should be done. Then potli prepared from excreta of Kapoda drugs like Kansa, Nila, Shukka, Ranglaka, Kakadali, Mula and Gomutra should be applied from Kunja tumor. Satya Satyata. Most of the Arbuda including Mamsa Arbuda, Rakta Arbuda and Tridosha of any side occurring in ear, throat and even blood etc. are considered as Asadhya. Some of the Arbuda are also described as Sadhya, which are most probably cyst, benign tumors or chronic inflammatory swelling, reactants and metastasis. Sadhya Arbuda may be developed into Asadhya, that is from one stage to other, or Asadhya Arbuda may be rise to its spread to another place. Conclusions. A review of Samhita argues that knowledge about tumor forming cancer was well understood and known by Acharyas in the very early era. Classification by based on different parameters like dosha, dhatu, dhamma and sadhya, sadhyata itself tells about the profound knowledge about the cancer, and separately they have mentioned about which can be curable and which cannot be. Ultimately, large tumors to be excised and eliminated completely by the application of the alkali and water. Thank you.
I request chairperson to Operative Lala to be present. Next, I request Dr. Mallikarjun to come on the dais for the next presentation.
The topic of my presentation is concept of cancer in Ayurveda. These are the contents of my presentation. Introduction. The knowledge and management of the disease cancer was not unknown to the ancient surgeons of India. Although there is no direct correlation to the disease cancer was not found in our classics. Based on the signs and symptoms, we can correlate the Granthi and Arthritis, inflammatory and non-inflammatory cells. According to Sutta Nidhanaka, 11th chapter, and the Aruna commentary explains Vidyotiko Vartartha Katinaha, due to Nidhana Sevana, activation of Vatarthi doshas leads to initiation of Mamsa, Rakta, Veda and Serum, and normalized in any part of the body, which is Ruttam, Vikritam and Shokam leads to Granthi. According to Ashtavadaya Uttaratantra 29th chapter, explained Mahatma Granthi to Arbudam, due to Nidana Semana activation of Vata dosha, viscerates, mamsa and recta, localized in any part of the body, produce muscular swelling, which is Ruttam, Stiram, Mandarujam, Mahanta Moolam, Chiravruti, Apakam, Jushku, Arbuda. These are the types according to Shushta 11. Nidana 11 chapter, 5 types. According to Charaka Chikisatan 12 chapter, Sohitva, they explain 6 types. According to Vakpata 29 chapter, Ashtanga, Uttarakhanda 29 chapter, 9 types. According to Shushta Nidana 11 chapter, Arbuda 6 types, and he also explained 2 types, that is Ajarbuda and Virarbuda. Chapter compared to cancer, early stage of localized neoplastic changes observed in Sanchayavastha, transformation from primary growth into secondary growth in Prakopavastha, metastasis in Prasravastha, complete metastasis in secondary growth in Stanasamshaya, and clinical signs observed in Vaktavastha and differentiation observed in Vedavastha. Amagranthi Chikitsa is, here we follow the Shoka Chikitsa and also maintain the Rogabala, and here Rogi Bala, and it decreases the Roga Bala, and we follow Trivira, Trivira and Chaturvira Sneha. Along with that, Prasarana and Dashimula can be given. In Pakko Chikitsa, we will Chetana and Agrikarma, followed by Pranava Chikitsa, and Avarma Chikitsa, we directly remove surgically, and then followed by Agrikarma and Charakarma. Vata Chikitsa is Punana, Nadi Stage, followed by Rakam Shrunga and Vata Kalka. In Gita Chikitsa, Mrudu Punana Stage, Virechana, and Darshana Chikitsa, followed by Kalka application, Rakta Visravana. In Kapaja Chikitsa, Shodhana, followed by Rakta Kalapa and Kalka application. Vedija Chikitsa here, Vedana, followed by draining of the blood and suturing, followed by Kalka application. Here mainly Chikitsa, Charaka Chikitsa, Sushruta Chikitsa, 18th chapter, Chikitsa. In modern we correlate this to maggot therapy. This is mainly indicated for Kapaja Arbuda. Here we apply paste of Nishpa of India, Kulata and plenty of meat, yogurt and buttermilk on the surface of the tumor, followed by flies attracted to it, and it will leave the majority portion of the tumor. Then even remnant part is scrapped and perform Dana Krama. And Patya, one should follow the food according to the Prakriti and follow Ayurveda, that is Ushna Sthita, Madhavata, Jidna, Videmundi, Ishta Desha, Ishta Sarvakrama. These are the rules should be followed, and followed by present research in Ayurveda for the palliative management of cancer. Varnadika and Eduka give a best results, and also in modern medicine they are used to nutrition and nutrition as anti-cancer drugs. These are attested from the Vinca rosea, and also Swarnavasva is used that gives a good results in the management of cancer. Discussion. Cancer is one of the biggest life-threatening issue, particular reference not only in our classics, but based on science and symptoms, we can correlate this to Ayurveda and Granthi. And also in modern system, there is no such treatment protocol for cancer. It only depends upon the unity of Vaidya, and the present government and WHO should support the students, PG scholars and Vaidyas in the research field related to cancer. The proper diagnosis and treatment plan in cancer is the key component to overcome the incidence. Either the goals in managing cancer conditions, prolong their life consistency, as ensuring quality life. Granthi and Ayurveda Chikitsa is best, effective, well managed through the guidelines told by our Acharyas. Hence, the concept of management of cancer in Ayurveda may give new life to the sufferings of humanity throughout the world. These are the references. Presentation.
Now I request chairperson to offer the flower to the presenter. Next I request Dr. Bhaskar P. to come on the dais for the next presentation.
Myself, Bhaskar, I am a senior Carcinoma scholar, Department of Carcinoma. I am doing the concept of cancer in Ayurveda, literary opinions from the Bhavatarii and the clinical tentative conclusion how we can understand the Arbuda Chikitsa in our own way, that which is said in the classics. How we can understand that in a better way, that is the unit I wish to discuss today. So, under the guidance of Dr. Suresh Nakandi, HOD, Department of Panchakarma, Shri Garsiteshwara Ayurveda Medical College, Mumbai. So, yes, Arbuda, cancer is not a single disease. What we are today wish to see, Arbuda, Granthi, Tridosha, Samutta, Sannipataja, Gulma. Under all these headings, we see the cancer. So, with a small example, the Kidiva Kushta we see under the heading of psoriasis. It is not exactly equal to the psoriasis. In the same way, I wish to see the Arbuda under the heading of cancer. So, the literal or etymological meaning, it goes like the etymologically says that it is Shigra and Buddha is Tasmai Udayati. So, repeated mitotic divisions or a multiplication of the cells. Further, in the Amarapasha, he opines that it is Arbuda is a Dashakoti Sankhya, Roga Visheshaha, Mamsa Kilaha and Mamsa Purushaha. In the same way, for the Koti, that multiplication says that Chikyate Aneya. So, that Chedana at the level of cellular. So, we see in the Sarva Dhatu Vyaha. In the all the Dhatus successively in the order we will see. So, this is the shloka of the day. I think I don't need much of explanation in the definition. So, Vadi Anatma Hetu, why the of the dosha or the weakest point of the body in that particular patient, where it is there the disease will occur in that person. So, the classification and why the dosha has involvement of the Arbuda, we see in a way like Sarvesham Chanadina, Padapita Steshmana, Eva Mulaha. So, dosha is the Mula, Vikaraganam, Vishwarupena, because Vayu is the Neta. Based on that only the Vishesha Vikalpa or the manifestation of the disease in the different sites we will see. So, now Paka, why it is not getting Paka, means Mandaruja. That symptoms are said in the classics because it won't get Paka due to the dominance of Kapha and Veda. Now Paka Maya and Kapali Katman, Vedo Bahulya, that is Vedo Bahutva. So, in the same way, Sarvarbuda are due to the Kapha and Vedo Bahulya. In the same way, Acharya Vapada opines that while explaining in the Charaka Samhita, we will find very less reference of Arbuda, but in the classically Garbhavakranti Sharira explains that the Napumsaka Shishu, he says that it is in the form of Arbuda. In the same way, in the Acharya Vapada, Madhura Rasa, while explaining the Asamiti Adhyaya, he says, Kurute Api Apyuka Yogena, Medha Shleshmakam Gadam. So, whatever the disease is due to the Medha and Shleshma, it must be having a dominance or Apiprayoga of the Madhura. So, it leads to the Taulyagisada, Sanyasa, Meha, Gandharpadadika. So, Ganda and Arbudadinadi we see through this one only, Apiprayoga. In the same way, Mamsam Gandharpada Granthi, Gandharudara Ruditaha, Kantadishwari Mamsamcha. So, Arbudadadi, once again, due to the dominance of Kapha and the Medha. So, while explaining the Vaibhava Sutra, Ashtanga Hridaya, Shodhanadina Sangrahaya Adhyaya, we get the reference of Ayamarkariko Varkaha, Kapamedo Vishakaha, Krimikrishta Prasamano, Visheshat Manashodhanaha. So, what we need to see is the Arbuda is a manifestation of the disease due to the Sangha of the Kapha and Medha to tackle the Kapha and the Medha in a certain way through the Basti or the internal administration or the associates through the Basti. In the same way, how we can see the Kapha and the Medha. Acharya given the two more references, Vachaharidradikana and Vatsaka Murvadigana. In the Vatsaka Murvadigana, here Acharya clears the Arbuda opinion very clearly that Chalakapa Medaha. Chalakapa Medaha means Chalakapaha and Chalamedaha. At the level of, if it is in the blood or at the level of Vedas and the Mamsa. So, in that condition, we need to use the Vatsaka. As one of the PhD scholars explained in the one case, he uses the Vatsaka. In the same way, Arkadi, in the morning session, Satyanand Bhatt sir explained the Arkadi folklore practice in the cancer. It is mentioned in the classics, but we need to see in the good way. That's it. So, in the same way, Sukshma that which is mentioned in the classics by the Sharangadara, we need to use the Saindava, Shaudra, Nimbataila and Yeranda. These dravas, Pani Ekshara is highly advisable in case of Arbuda. Last thing, as I am basically from my native issue model there, one of the traditional practice of cancer is there. When we wish to see what is the sample he is giving, or the plants, or the any forest area which is around him, If you observe the properly, you will get up the 4 dragas commonly. That is that which is also mentioned in the case of Veda and Kaparuddhi, that is Prameha, Asana. And one more is Tinduka Prabheda. Tinduka Prabheda, that too in Kannada we call it as Ebo. In terms of botanically ebony plant, that is Jagalaganti Mara, that we don't use to grow in our nearest area because quarrelsome tree, it may lead to the quarrel. So these are the some of the dravas that which we commonly see in the cancer products from the abroad where patient visits to Shimoga. That's why I said, by this I will conclude my session. Thank you.
I request chairperson to.
Now I request Dr. VAIBHAV sir, co-chairperson for the presentation remarks.
This is the fate of the last session. So only I think the presenter and his friends who wants to clap, take a photo of them, they will be remaining, and rest of them will be out.